Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today I've got a collection of clips ranging from a snake the length of 10 men to a newly discovered alien craft that's sure to leave you shocked. Ready? Let's jump right in. Starting off today's episode, we've got something rather out of the ordinary. Take a look. Am I the only one seeing the strange-looking lizard? No? You can see it too. Oh, great. I'm not seeing things then. The big question now is, why does it look like that? If I had $1 anytime I asked that question on this channel, I'd be a millionaire by now. After doing some digging around and research, which mostly means asking Julius, it turns out that the chances of this critter being an alien creature accidentally left on our planet are incredibly low. Julius and the other science geniuses I interviewed stated that what we are seeing could be the result of a damaged egg or a set of twins that never truly separated or developed well. While that does seem very plausible and logical, I can't help but entertain the idea of it being an alien species. I know the chances of it being so are very slim, but look at it. Doesn't it look like some cute little alien creature? Anyway, have any of you encountered an animal with a similar condition? Let us know what species it was and how different it looked compared to the normal-looking critters in its species. I'll be reading the comments. Next, we've got a clip someone sent in that he had allegedly recorded from the daily news in his region. Let's take a look at it together. What would you call this? Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, took one look at it and screamed, "A superbug." Now, when he said it, I couldn't help but laugh. I mean, the very idea of a superbug is amusing, but then again, you can't really blame him for thinking that, can you? I mean, look at the thing. Have you ever seen a bug that large? Now, I tried to do some research online to find if something like this has been reported in any part of the world, and try as I may, I found nothing. Naturally, I started to suspect this wasn't real. It definitely had to be a CGI creation, but then again, it could be the skeptic in me being loud. What do you guys think? These days, there are many things coming out that makes me question if everything we know about the world and the Earth is even true anymore. Take a look at this footage. A man was taking a video of the moon in the sky, and as he zoomed in, something strange happened. The moon looked like it was a kite, and then its shape glitched out. The color also shifted to a shade between pink and red. Wow. Now, is this even possible? We all know that the moon is round, but sometimes appears crescent when there is a shadow over part of it. So what is this odd shape in the sky? This makes you wonder if all the talks about a Matrix world are real. It's unsettling to consider the possibility that our perception of reality might be manipulated or incomplete. What do you make of this footage? The Matrix isn't the only subject that makes me question reality. Recently, there's been a surge of sightings of fairy tale creatures in real life, blurring the lines between myth and reality. People are sharing footage of gnomes, dragons, and even fairies. Take a look at this intriguing clip shared by a man who saw something unusual on his way home. Initially, it appears to be a piece of dried wood lying on the ground. However, as the camera zooms in, you can see that this stick has a head and a face with detailed features that are unmistakably lifelike. Its legs resemble those of a grasshopper, giving it an otherworldly appearance. The creature lies motionless on the ground with its eyes closed, giving it an eerie, almost enchanting quality. Is this real, or is it a hoax? The nighttime seems to be the best time for all sorts of weird things to happen and for strange things to emerge. Someone captured intriguing footage while walking by the woods after feeling like something was watching them from the trees. When they turned, they saw a pair of glowing eyes at the tree line, intently observing them. In the dark, the outline of the creature became somewhat visible, revealing what looked like eyes and an obvious snout. It was difficult to determine if that was the entirety of the creature's body or if there was more hidden in the shadows. When this footage was posted online, it sparked a debate with people having different opinions about the identity of the creature. One group leaned towards more familiar animals such as gators, dogs, coyotes, donkeys, and pigs. However, others suggested a more paranormal explanation, noting the eerie vibe the creature exuded. Some speculated it might be a hellhound, while another person humorously suggested it was a Pikachu, and yet another believed it could be a djinn. What do you think about this mysterious encounter? Is it a familiar creature, or do you lean towards a more supernatural explanation? What do we have here? Someone trying to pick up this strange-looking creature on the muddy ground with a pair of chopsticks. The creature was sandwiched between the sticks, but as soon as he tried to lift it, the creature vanished from the spot and appeared in another position, almost as if it had teleported. Well, this intriguing creature is called the mudskipper. Mudskippers are fascinating amphibious fish known for their ability to move and survive both in water and on land. They use their pectoral fins to walk on the muddy surfaces of their habitats and their unique appearance and behaviors. While it may seem like the mudskipper teleported, it's actually a combination of its quick, agile movements and its ability to blend into its muddy surroundings that creates this illusion. This creature is the stuff of nightmares. Imagine stumbling upon this giant worm with its menacing teeth. Definitely not your average encounter. The lack of details on its origin leaves room for speculation. Is it a creature from the depths of the ocean, a newly discovered species, or just a remarkable creation of special effects? Regardless, if it's not a man-made prop, encountering such a beast would be a jaw-dropping moment, quite literally. Let's hope it's just a product of someone's vivid imagination, because if not, humanity might just need to rethink its place in the food chain. Snakes are animals that come in all shapes and sizes. Some are very small, some are big, while others are gigantic. In a remote location, a group of men arrived at a farm one morning and made a startling discovery. They found a 30-meter-long shed skin of a snake. The sight of such an enormous snake skin left them in awe, contemplating the sheer size of the snake that had left it behind. This incredible find raises numerous questions. What kind of snake could have shed such a massive skin? Could it be a reticulated python known to grow to extraordinary lengths? Or perhaps it belongs to an anaconda, one of the largest snakes in the world. The discovery of such a large shed skin hints at the presence of a truly gigantic serpent, one that might still be lurking somewhere nearby. If I were him and this clip was truly real, I'd engage the services of animal control or relocate. A snake of that size will make a meal of me in no time. What about you? What would you do? Take a look at this footage, captured in the middle of the woods by a late-night adventurer. On the forest floor lay a grotesque creature. It lay still with its arms crossed over its chest. The creature was pale, with long white hair cascading from its head and a single long horn protruding from its forehead. It appeared lifeless on the ground. The creature resembles something out of a dark fairy tale or a mythological cryptid. However, when the footage was posted, many people in our paranormal communities were skeptical, suggesting it was just a costume rather than a genuine cryptid. What do you think? Personally, I can understand why they think that, since this is one of the least convincing cryptids we've ever featured on this channel. But what are your thoughts? Is this an actual encounter with an unknown creature, or is it just an expertly crafted prop meant to deceive? You tell me. The number of unusual sightings in the sky these days is quite strange, if not alarming. Recently, someone shared this intriguing footage of something they captured floating over the ocean. It was a white figure in the sky that resembled a person with their arms stretched wide. The figure looked like a cloud, but there was no other clouds in the sky, just this singular, human-shaped formation. It seems very odd for the only small patch of cloud in the blue sky to be shaped like a person. This led to a lot of speculation. Some believe it could be a holographic projection, but who would be out at the ocean looking up to see this? Others think it could be an actual being in the sky. What do you think? Is this a mysterious being, a clever hologram, or just a peculiar cloud formation? In March, a homeowner shared rather interesting footage from a security camera they had installed in their backyard. The footage shows what looks like a ghostly figure grazing near a wall that had a dark object in front of it. Out of nowhere, an invisible creature about 3 to 4 feet tall walks in front of the black object on the ground. This creature had an obvious humanoid form and looked like it was made of smoke. The only reason we can see it is because of the contrast with the black object. As soon as it passes by the object, it vanishes into thin air. The footage caused a frenzy among viewers in the paranormal community. Some believed that this was an alien creature walking around, while others thought it was some sort of ghost or spiritual entity. What do you think this could be? Share your thoughts in the comment section. A homeowner arrived home after a long day, ready to relax. He was startled to discover something straight out of a nightmare approaching his front door. His eyes widened at the sight before him.
I'm scared!
A clear, slimy substance hung down from above, resembling snail slime but thicker. Suspended from this sticky thread was a strange, shellless creature wiggling about in the air. The creature looked like a snail, yet it lacked the familiar shell. Its body twisted and turned, seemingly defying gravity as it dangled from the slime. Was this a new or rarely seen species? Perhaps it was a type of slug exhibiting some unusual behavior. Julius says it's possible that they're mating snails. Now, I don't know how factual that is because he was not in his element when I asked him. Can any of you confirm this? Also, what would you do if you encountered such a sight? Let us know in the comments section.
Scared!
Let's take a look at this next footage. A man was walking home alone one night when he noticed something eerie. An object was floating a few inches above the ground right by a nearby wall. What makes this even more unsettling is that the object wasn't lightweight, nor was there any wind blowing. To make matters worse, it moved at a hauntingly slow speed as if something unseen was dragging it. It seemed to be following the man. He was understandably spooked by this encounter. One thing is for sure, this might be the last time he walks home alone at night. Anyway, do you think this was a wraith? What do you think was going on here? Share your thoughts below. Let's take a look at this intriguing image captured by an astronomer. It shows a flash of what looks like fire over the moon, resembling some sort of explosion. Interestingly, the explosion didn't appear to hit the moon, but rather ignited just above the surface. People have made several observations about this phenomenon. The area where the explosion occurred looks dark, but there seems to be a crater there. Some theorized that this was a meteor or asteroid that hit the part of the moon where there was no light, creating the illusion of an explosion above the surface. However, there are others with their own unique takes. Some believe that a mysterious field around the moon caused the impact to occur in such a dramatic fashion. Others even suggest that something or someone on the moon shot at the approaching object, causing it to explode before making contact. What do you think this could be? What would you do if you returned to your locked car and saw a pair of glowing eyes staring back at you through the window of the passenger side? A man found himself in exactly this situation late one night, and it was an experience he won't soon forget. As he approached his car, he noticed something peculiar inside. On the passenger side, a pale face with glowing eyes appeared briefly, staring intently at him. Before he could fully comprehend what he was seeing, the face vanished as quickly as it had appeared. Understandably shocked, he cautiously opened the car door. To his bewilderment, there was no one in sight. The car was empty, with no signs of the eerie visitor he had just seen. The incident left him deeply unnerved. If it were me in that situation, I'd probably leave the car right there and opt for a taxi or an Uber home. The thought of driving off after such an encounter is just too unsettling, and honestly, getting the car exorcised or blessed might not seem so far-fetched after an experience like that. Because really, what on earth was that thing? What would you do in this situation? Share your thoughts and reactions. Next, we've got a banana lying on a table. Anne reaches out to it, and this is what happens. The banana begins to pulsate as if it's alive. This is one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen involving food. What could be going on here? Several theories came to mind. Some suggest it might be an elaborate prank or special effects trickery designed to shock and disturb viewers. Others speculate that the banana could be infested with some sort of parasitic organism or insect larvae, causing it to move in such a creepy manner. There are also those who believe it could be a cleverly edited video using CGI to create the pulsating effects. What do you think could be the reason behind this pulsating banana? The Grim Reaper, a figure steeped in myth and legend, is often depicted as the personification of death itself, appearing in various cultures with his signature scythe and black robes. But does such an entity truly exist, or is it merely a product of human imagination and folklore? Recently, footage surfaced depicting a dark-robed entity floating in the night sky, prompting speculation about the existence of the Grim Reaper. While this figure lacked the notable scythe typically associated with the Grim Reaper, the eerie atmosphere it exuded led the poster of the footage to believe that they had captured the legendary entity on camera. So what can we make of this encounter? Could this dark-robed figure truly be the Grim Reaper, manifesting in our world to claim souls, as myth suggests? Or is it simply a trick of the light or a case of mistaken identity? If you thought that was strange, here's another strange floating object that was shared on our paranormal platforms. This time, it wasn't a dark entity, but an oddly shaped white thing twirling right above the ground. This object was seen near a light pole, seemingly dancing in the air. There was no indication of wind blowing, and this thing didn't look like typical debris. So what could we be looking at? Could it be a peculiar type of balloon or a plastic bag caught in unusual air current? Or perhaps it's something more mysterious, an unexplained phenomenon, or even a paranormal occurrence. I've come across conversations about frequencies and how essential and influential they can be, specifically how certain frequencies in music we listen to can affect our mood and overall well-being. Recently, I discovered some intriguing information about a particular frequency known as the miracle tone or love frequency, which is at 528 Hz. According to proponents of this frequency, when it's played, it can reconstruct human DNA and repair it to a perfect state. This process is believed to provide clarity of mind, inner peace, and even physical healing. These types of frequency tones or music are called healing tones. The 528 Hz frequency in particular is often referred to as the DNA repair frequency. It is said to resonate at the core of everything that connects to our heart, spiritual essence, and divine harmonica. Some people believe that listening to music tuned to this frequency can help promote healing and transformation on a cellular level. Is this accurate and legitimate? Well, it's hard to say. Different frequencies are associated with different perceived tones and pitches when heard by humans. There is some scientific evidence that certain sound frequencies can influence brainwave activity and have psychological emotional effects when listened to. However, many of the specific claims made about the impact of individual frequencies like 528 Hz on biological processes like DNA repair are controversial and not universally accepted by mainstream science. Would you give it a try? Considering all the weirdness and stress in the world, this might be a simple yet powerful way to enhance our well-being and find some much-needed peace. Or a complete waste of time. Who knows? You know the saying, don't start something you cannot finish. Well, take a look at this footage.
Blue, blue baby, baby blue, blue baby, baby blue.
Two women were performing a fertility ritual in their room. One person had the camera and the other was saying in front of the camera as she recited some incantation and swung her arms back and forth as if she was cradling a baby. As she continued, right behind at her door, a pale head with dark hollow eyes poked its head in and stared right at them before quickly retreating. The woman holding the camera saw this and immediately alerted her friend. They both began to scream in panic and confusion. Did these women just summon an entity during the ritual? The sudden appearance of this eerie figure certainly suggests they may have disturbed something otherworldly. This is why we must be careful when meddling with these types of things. Julius thinks this is ridiculous, but I bet there are some of you who have done stuff like that with strange and unexplainable results or occurrences. Care to share? There are many stories of people seeing things on highways, as these are often the sites of ghastly accidents due to all the speeding cars. A similar eerie encounter happened in this footage. A group of friends were driving home late one night after a night out when something chilling occurred. A dark figure appeared on the side of the road. Considering it was a highway in the late hour, it seemed very unlikely that anyone would be out there. The friends in the car were so spooked by the figure that they sped off in terror, their hearts racing and minds reeling with fear. This kind of sighting is not uncommon on highways known for fatal accidents. So what do you think it was? Was it a ghost of someone who had likely passed away in an accident there, or perhaps an otherworldly entity haunting that lonely stretch of road? I've seen some pretty large animals in my day, but nothing could have prepared me for these horns. These have got to be some of the largest horns out there, and believe me when I say there are some species of cows or bulls that have such large horns. In fact, some cultures breed some of them purposely to show off their horns or see how big they can get. Now, you know there was no way today's episode was going to end without our bonus segment coming up, right? So could you find out what exact species this bull is and what country it comes from? If you believe you have the answer, you know what to do. Type it in the comments section with one unique fact about this big boy right here. Remember to start your comment with the word bonus. May the best human win. A homeowner was woken up in the middle of the night by a strange tapping on the window. He went to check it out, and this is what he found. A monkey-like creature with wings was tapping on the glass from the outside. The creature had bat-like wings with bright yellow fur around its neck. It looked like it wanted to get into the house, persistently tapping on the glass. The terrified man didn't dare to open the window or investigate further. Some viewers speculate that the creature would be some type of bat, given its wings and nocturnal behavior. However, its face resembled that of a monkey, which is highly unusual for any known species of bat. Others think that this could be a paranormal creature, something out of folklore or myth. What do you think? Is this a rare, undiscovered species, a genetic anomaly, or perhaps something paranormal? Or maybe, just maybe, we had visitors from the Wizard of Oz. They have winged monkeys, remember? In this next footage, someone discovered intriguing tracks near Meek's cabin by the water. The muddy ground perfectly molded the footprint impressions into its surface. The site where this print was captured is said to be a Bigfoot hotspot. The prints, although seemingly human, have an unusual appearance. They feature a mid-tarsal ridge and a significant girth, unlike typical human footprints. The debate over the existence of Bigfoot has been ongoing for years, with numerous sightings and evidence. The distinct characteristics of these tracks could point to the legendary creature, but they might also belong to someone with an unusual foot structure. So are we looking at a Bigfoot track, or are these just the prints of a human with oddly shaped big feet? There are many unexplained things that we've come across that sometimes defy explanation. People often create conspiracies in hopes of making sense of these strange phenomena. Take a look at this footage, for instance. A hand holds up this freaky-looking fish. The fish has two mouths. Yes, you heard that right. Two mouths, one on top of the other. Both mouths were wide open, giving the fish a bizarre appearance. To add to the strangeness, the fish also has 4 eyes, 2 on each side of its face. This footage has raised a lot of eyebrows. Some suggest it's simply a deformed fish, perhaps the result of conjoined twins that didn't fully separate. Others believe that environmental factors, such as pollution or chemicals in the water, could have caused this deformity. There are also those who think this might be some kind of experiment gone wrong in a lab, leading to this unusual creature. What do you think? This next footage was sent in by a subscriber. They were snooping around Antarctica on a map, zooming in when they came across this chilling image. It appears to be the giant skeletal head of a monster floating on the water with the rest of its body submerged. The creature's mouth is slightly open, revealing razor-sharp teeth. The sight is both eerie and fascinating, leaving much to the imagination. Antarctica is a place widely believed to hold many secrets shrouded in mystery and largely unexplored. Are we perhaps looking at one of those secrets? This creature certainly doesn't look like something you'd want to pet or take home as a catch for dinner. And since it's an image, we can't be sure if it's dead or alive. What do you think this could be? A man and his friends decided to go out in the woods to take pictures of nature, the beautiful trees and the sky. But when they got to one particular tree, they ended up running back home in sheer terror. Perched on the tree were about 3 creatures. At first glance, they looked like birds. However, when the camera zoomed in, it became clear that there were no ordinary birds. They had web-like wings similar to bats, but they were much larger and had humanoid bodies. When the footage was posted online, many people were skeptical, believing it to be a clever CGI work. The debate raged on, with some insisting it was genuine while others dismissed it as a hoax. But what do you think? Could these creatures be an undiscovered species, or perhaps beings from folklore brought to life? Or is this just another example of impressive digital effects? Now, this is a sweet twist on the concept of bee-friendly.
Bee-friendly, mi gente, miren la abeja. No lo puedo creer, no lo puedo creer.
Feast your eyes on this viral donut shop making waves on social media. What's all the buzz about? Well, it's not just about donuts, it's about bees carrying out their pollination process right inside the premises. Just take a peek at these industrious bees strolling on the sugary delights. It's a quirky fusion of the culinary and the natural world. Now, the big question: would you ever indulge in treats from such a place where bees are not just customers but pollination partners? What's your take on this unique approach to coexisting with nature? A bold venture, or perhaps a too close for comfort encounter with your baked goods? Now immerse yourself in an otherworldly tale captured on footage by a man who claims to have a close encounter with the extraterrestrial kind. In the video, a mesmerizing pink light hovers and dances about, and according to the man behind the lens, this ethereal glow is none other than the elusive alien presence. As the story goes, he remembers feeling very dizzy and losing track of time during this strange encounter. What's even more interesting is the fact that his phone had trouble focusing, almost like something from another world was making it hard to see clearly through the camera. But that's not all. He said he had more footage of his abduction and even filmed their crafts as well. At the end of the footage, the camera falls and you hear footsteps and someone breathing.
The part that kind of freaks me out.
The big question is, could this be a real encounter with aliens, a quick look into the unknown, or is it a mix of different things, maybe natural events or just a trick of the mind? Amidst his daily hustle, a guy came across something out of the ordinary.
Y'all can't tell me that ain't no fucking UFO.
As he took a closer look, he noticed this thing was way taller than regular street poles and had a strange shaped head beaming light. Its real size became apparent to him when a plane flew by and served as a reference point. Now, this strange structure raises some interesting questions. Why is it so tall? And what's up with its unique features? Is it just a pole, or is there more to it than meets the eye? People are wondering if it's some secret communication gadget, a fancy piece of art, or maybe even something from outer space. As the light cuts through the darkness, so does a curiosity cut through the unknown, making us wonder about the secrets hiding in the corners of our everyday world. What do you think of the whole thing? Imagine this strange thing happening at night, a weird person wearing a white robe walking in an empty field. For the one who sent this video in, it was no imagination at all. He watched it play out right before him. In the footage, we can see that there are no houses around, making it even more mysterious. You might wonder, why is this mysterious person here in the middle of nowhere? It gets creepier as the person disappears into the dark, leaving us with questions and a spooky image. Encounters like these in lonely places remind us that strange things can happen unexpectedly. What could this mysterious person be doing in the middle of the night? Was it a visitor from the world beyond? Someone with a secret plan? Or something we can't understand? It's hard to say, but you can't deny that not having answers makes the whole thing even more mysterious. Next up, we have another capture from a trail cam in the woods. In this motion trail capture, we see an ape-like creature walking through the woods as though it were no one's problem. But once you start taking a critical look at the creature, you soon realize that it's no ape at all. It's longer arms than you'd expect from a traditional ape, and it's moving in a way apes do not naturally move. Its movements almost look human-like, which the most skilled chimpanzee would not be capable of emulating. What's more, the area within which the footage was taken has no apes in the region. There is only one explanation, the sighting then, Bigfoot. But what do you think? This footage was taken by someone who appears to be taking a walk in what looks like a jungle. As you can see, there's a lot of greenery around as the footage continues. Our adventurer explores further and comes across a bridge. But halfway through the bridge, this person catches something on camera. Did you see that? Right among the rocks, a little further away from the shallow river, you won't believe your eyes. There's a creature standing on two legs. At first glance, its posture seems human. But upon closer inspection, it becomes clear that this entity is anything but human. The entity was very skinny and green, making it appear camouflaged within its green surroundings. In contrast, its head is unusually large, adorned with two mysterious black dots that I can only assume are its eyes. If you subscribe to the paranormal, then you should know that it fits the description of what the community loves to call aliens. Could this creature be a scout for an incoming planned invasion? Share your thoughts with us. In the dimly lit room, a group of friends gathered for a late-night jam session, their instruments creating a melodic ambience. Little did they know they were not the sole performers in this impromptu concert. Behind the transparent veil of the glass window, a ghostly figure emerged, silently observing the musicians with an otherworldly presence. The musicians, lost in their craft, didn't notice the ethereal spectator in the shadows. The figure's intentions or connection to the space remain unclear, leaving all who saw the footage to make speculations. Ghostly manifestations often elicit fear and fascination, but something about this entity tells me it only came for the music. Imagine playing music so good that the dead want to listen. You know what? Perhaps we should visit that band. Now, this is an oddity that takes us beyond the realm of UFOs and into the mysterious world of anomalous rocks. Across different corners of the globe, particularly in Africa, peculiar rocks have been discovered, captivating the curiosity of those who encounter them. In this intriguing footage, a person places a nail on the rock and an unexpected and almost surreal event unfolds. The rock appears to bleed out a mysterious black liquid. This raises a myriad of questions concerning the nature of the rock and the unusual substance it releases. Scientifically, rocks don't typically bleed, and this phenomenon challenges our conventional understanding of geological processes. Where did this rock come from? What could be the source of the black liquid that flows out of it? Does it hold secrets that defy our current understanding of geology?
Going back to North England, we have this trail cam capture from September 2010 that we'd like you to see. A man living in the area had been noticing the apples in his orchard were getting stolen and he couldn't tell how. To get to the bottom of it, he installed a trail cam and it captured what you see on your screen. Initially, he couldn't tell what he was looking at, but after a while, he realized it was a giant creature picking an apple from the ground. It's a hairy giant, almost like a giant ape. But that's where it gets odd, because there are no apes in New England. It took a while, but the owner of the footage soon realized it actually potentially captured a Sasquatch. Looking at the features in the image, although blurry, it has to be, right? Tell us what you think. As if we haven't had enough surprises today, take a look at this trail cam footage. Is this some kind of wildlife circus show? 3 mountain lions were captured moving on sticks. To be fair, it appears to be a fence, but it's still undeniably impressive. I still don't know what's going through their minds, but maybe they were having a hard time catching prey and decided to look around or perhaps wait and lure them in. No matter what, I bet circus masters and animal trainers would love to have this kind of spectacle in their shows. If this proves anything, it's that it's better to observe animals in their natural habitats than to confine them in circuses, where they're forced to perform tricks using cruel methods and training. What do you think?
Now, let's delve into the wilderness. In this intriguing trail camera footage, the serene image of a moose peacefully grazing in the woods takes an unexpected turn. The camera captures the moose going about its business. In the background, however, there is a pair of mysterious glowing eyes emerging from the shadows, fixated on the unsuspecting creature. The question that lingers in the air is, what lurks behind those luminescent orbs? The wilderness is known for its diverse inhabitants, from ordinary predators to creatures that dwell in the realms of folklore and myth. We can't help but wonder, is this a common predator like a wolf or cougar, or if it hints at the presence of something more mysterious? What do you think? In a quest that challenges the borders between reality and the unknown, a group of brave explorers stumbled upon what seemed to be a portal, a metaphysical gateway to the mysterious realm called the Backrooms. With a map guiding them through this otherworldly terrain, their journey brought them to an unusual well, which closely resembled the one marked on the map. This finding sparked their speculation that the well could be a real connection to the Backrooms, a labyrinthine dimension hidden just beyond what we can usually perceive. With a mix of fear and fascination, the explorers considered the potential use of this well as a portal that could transform them from the familiar world to the shadowy depths of the Backrooms. Did they go into it, though? Well, we don't have the footage, so we can't say for sure. But indulge me, would you go down something like this if you had the information beforehand?
Next up is this odd footage that was taken across the street in the city. At first glance, you'll think the creature in view is a stray dog, but as the video plays out, you realize that it looks nothing like your everyday dog. Its body proportions do not fit the description of a regular dog, and it appears to be hairless, almost sharing the likeness of a chupacabra. But what if it's not just sharing the likeness of the chupacabra, but is actually one? As the video shows, it's seen munching on something, or should I say, sucking out its blood. And we all know who's infamous for feasting on livestock blood, right? None other than the good old Chuppy. Now, here's a $1 million question. Do you think that that's just some stray dog, or could it possibly be a real-life chupacabra? Tell us in the comments section. Next up, we have this trail cam capture from the year 2013, captured in North Carolina, which is quite disturbing and a little bit sad. In the image on your screen, you can see what looks like a little girl running through the woods. But why is this image so sad and disturbing? If you take a closer look at the image, you'll realize that her arms do not look normal, almost as if they're deformed in some way, and despite her having her head and face, she does look faceless. There are many that believe that we may be dealing with a ghost or spirit of some sort. If this is true, does that mean that this little girl was killed in the woods? Possibly got lost or kidnapped and killed there. Well, we can't say for sure, but anytime I see ghost images of kids in the woods, I can't help but get sad. Who knows what horrors they might have had to endure. This might be the reason why they are trapped in the woods and not able to find peace. It makes me wish that they're not true. Speaking of being false, there are some who argue that perhaps the quality of the image could account for the discrepancies. While that sounds plausible, there are too many things wrong to think the quality of the image is the problem. But as always, what do you think? Tell us in the comments section. Still on strange sightings, take a look at this next footage. The footage starts with a footballer celebrating what appears to be the win of the current game they're playing. It's a moment of sheer joy as he runs deeper into the field. But pay attention to his jersey. See that? The numbers change about 3 times. Let's slow it down for a detailed look. From 18 to what seems like 2J and finally 21. Strange, isn't it? But is there an explanation for it? Well, some who saw it believe the footage is doctored, whereas others believe we could actually be dealing with yet another glitch in the Matrix. But let's take a second look at the footage. Now, what are your personal opinions about it? Tell us in the comments section. And now here's a true mystery to ponder. This image was sent in by a subscriber who states he's had over 30 trail cams for about 10 years, yet has been left puzzled by this capture on one of his cams. He wants us to help him identify it, and we thought, well, who better to do so than our audience who double as wildlife experts? In the image, we see what looks like the back of a creature. Can you identify it? Do you know its name and species? Do you know any rare facts about it? If you do, then your task is simple. Name what it is, give us a rare fact about it, and we'll review it. If you're indeed right, your name shall be immortalized among the few names of individuals on this channel who have succeeded in identifying our bonus content. When writing out your answer, start with bonus footage so we easily identify it among the comments. The answer with the most accurate description with the most convincing reason will win a feature in our next video. All the best. The image you see on your screen is a capture that the uploader believed was a cryptid. If you have been following this channel for a very long time, then you should know what we mean when we say cryptid. It refers to creatures like Bigfoot and Dogman and what have you. Upon closer examination of this image, it becomes apparent why. While the creature may look like the American black bear, there are some differences. It has longer limbs and a longer face and seems to be capable of walking on its hind legs. Could we be looking at another type of cryptid never seen before? Although it's tempting to embrace the excitement of the paranormal community and declare a new cryptid, a simple Google image search reveals that this is a Mexican black bear. It's the cousin of the American black bear and is known to possess the features seen in the image. In other words, there's nothing weird or odd happening here. Do giant spiders exist? If you answered no, how do you explain this? Yes, what you're seeing on your screen is an actual blanket of spiderwebs. A group of individuals walked into the forest and found various trees covered in spiderwebs, something that we might have relegated to fiction in the past. If I were there, I'd freak out thinking some ancient giant spider was lurking. I'd probably run for my life. Interestingly, the people who stumbled upon this place had the exact same thought. I mean, if there was a spider capable of putting such giant trees in a web, then it certainly had to be big. But fortunately for them, they never encountered anything deadly or dangerous. Scientists carefully examined the footage and conducted on-site investigations. After testing the web, they came up with a new hypothesis. They stated that instead of one giant spider, the web could have come from thousands of smaller spiders who may have multiplied due to an abundance of food during the summer. What do you think, though?
You know, we put up gates around our homes for a reason. Security. But it seems like even the most fortified gates can't keep the truly mysterious at bay. This time, it's a security camera that decided to spill the beans on something downright eerie. The footage starts in a quiet residential street where we are shown a perfectly good gate. Out of the blue, a shirtless man strolls into the scene. But here's the kicker. He doesn't do the usual thing like knocking or calling out for someone inside the house. No, he casually walks right through the gate like it's no more than a curtain fluttering in the breeze. Now, you might be wondering, how on earth is that even possible? Well, combining our knowledge in physics, biology, psychology, and chemistry, the answer is simple. We don't know. That leaves room for only one explanation: the paranormal. Would an alligator ever allow a human to scratch its back? If you answered no, you're not the only person to have ever thought so. But take a look at this footage. Yes, my friends, that's a woman scratching the back of an alligator. And what's more, the alligator appears to be turning its head, probably making more room for cleaning, creating a humorous "you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours" moment. As fun and interesting as this looks, no matter what you do, never go approaching a wild alligator or crocodile to pat it or scratch its back. These creatures have a bite force that may make such an action the last thing you do with your arm. Literally. Nonetheless, this is a beautiful and interesting footage, don't you agree?
The wild is not merciful to the weak, as they are typically prey. In the relentless pursuit of food, animals must be wary of becoming a meal themselves. In this trail cam footage, we see an opossum venturing into a hole in a massive rock, but it's not seeking shelter for the night. Unbeknownst to the possum, a crafty coyote lurks just above the rocks, eyeing its every move. As the coyote descends to claim its meal, the opossum skillfully disappears into the shadows within the rock. The predator's desperate gaze sweeps across every corner, but the elusive opossum remains elusive. I guess the opossum was lucky then, or was it? Although the first capture could be explained, we can't say the same for this footage. This was captured by individuals who were going through a path in the woods, hoping to capture glimpses of wildlife. As they drove deeper into the woods, spending a considerable amount of time, it seems that their hopes of spotting any wildlife were dwindling. Just as their hopes were fading, they spot something odd-looking in the distance. It looks like a creature covered in abundant fur, but here's the kicker. It's strolling on 2 feet, just like us humans. Even the nimblest chimps can't manage the grace and fluidity with which this creature moves. Stunned, they yearn to approach the creature for a closer look, but alas, it vanished from their sight, leaving an indelible mark on their minds. They get close and stop at the exact spot where they lost sight of the creature. At that moment, the realization dawned upon them. The creature had vanished into the woods. However, despite their intense curiosity, none of them mustered the courage to venture deeper in search of answers. I can't say I blame them given the odd-looking nature of what they'd seen. I'd be apprehensive too. But I want answers. What exactly was that? My team and I delved into research and made a fascinating discovery. The footage hails from New England in North America. Now, if you're familiar with the paranormal community, you'll know that this region is renowned for its numerous Bigfoot sightings. This leads us to a burning question. Had they narrowly missed seeing Bigfoot in its full glory? Tell us what you think in the comments section.
In Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, a man saw a goat walking by the forest. Why is this interesting, you ask? Well, the area is not known to have goats, which was enough to leave him shocked. Unknown to him, however, the goat was not the only shocking spectacle he would have to see that day. Standing ominously amidst the trees was a figure that sent shivers down his spine. The Grim Reaper. A spectral entity draped in a black robe with a face that resembled a skeletal visage, a classic representation of the Grim Reaper in stories. If this is indeed the Grim Reaper, then what's its reason for being there? In confusion, the man wondered if the Grim Reaper had a specific reason for appearing, and if so, who or what was the target of its supernatural visit? The man, the unsuspecting goat, or maybe something mysterious concealed within the depths of the forest? Given the fact that he lived to share this online, we can confidently say he was not the one. So, the goat? Do Grim Reapers go after animals? Share your thoughts. The weirdness gets worse in our next clip. Here we have water that appears to be acting against the laws of gravity. It's moving upward as if drawn by an unseen force. Once the video went live, it left many scratching their heads. Different individuals had different ideas about what could be causing what we're seeing. Some thought it could be some kind of energy thing messing with the water, while others believed it might be a UFO playing tricks to conceal its location. But here's an interesting twist. A bunch of folks who knew about the Amazon suggested it might be a parorica. In the Amazon, parorica is when seawater meets a river, creating a special event that some describe as similar to this. Is it a parorica, though? Some Brazilians disagree, and that leaves me with just one question. Just what's happening here?
I know we've featured the Dogman on this channel before, but I'm not sure we've done so with a video as spine-chilling as this. Two guys were staying in an isolated cabin in the woods when they started hearing strange and ungodly sounds. Curious and worried, they stepped out and their security cam captured what you see on your screen. If you pay attention to the footage, you'll see a large creature appear on the left side of the screen. It looks like it's got big forearms and a bigger body to match. The video quality is so bad you can't really tell what you're looking at. Some members of the online paranormal community, however, think it's a wounded grizzly, whilst others think it's a werewolf. But a majority believe that we could be definitely looking at a Dogman. I want to believe it's one of these, preferably the Dogman, but as I keep watching the video over and over, the excitement wanes and it's replaced by a lot of questions. Why did the video end so abruptly if it's real? Why do the creature's movements look a little unnatural? Is this an elaborate hoax to deceive Dogman enthusiasts? So many questions. But what do you think? This photo was taken in the woods where no one was supposed to be living. Despite being a remote region, there was a hole in the ground shaped like a coffin. It was almost as though a grave had been dug out of the place, but whose grave? Although we don't have much info, conspiracy theories on what it might possibly be are flying all over the paranormal community. Some believe it's a coffin belonging to a vampire, whereas some claim the dead buried centuries ago had risen. All these sound ridiculous, but we currently have no logical explanations for the scenario. Do you?
Well, it seems these fishermen stumbled upon a creature that could give anyone a pause during their routine fishing expedition. In this footage, a group of men went fishing expecting a standard day at sea. But nature had a surprise in store for them. What they pulled from the depths was no ordinary fish. Instead, they found themselves face to face with a black, flat creature sporting two menacing fangs protruding from its mouth. It's like something out of a deep-sea nightmare. The footage has since gone viral and led to many speculations and theories. While I'd love to tell you what we're dealing with here, I think it would be much more interesting to have a little comment section trivia. So folks, what do you think we're dealing with here? Is this a real species? Is it fake? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Have you ever come across a bison? Just look at how huge this guy is. Bison, also commonly known as buffalo, are large, powerful herbivores native to North America. They are known for their massive size, with adult males, bulls, weighing up to 2,000 pounds or more. Bison have a distinctive hump on their shoulders, a massive head with a long beard and curved horns. Their fur is dense and can vary in color from deep brown to nearly black. Bison are well adapted to cold climates and have a shaggy coat that helps them withstand harsh weather conditions. While these descriptions are impressive, what impresses me the most is their size and meat. But don't tell anyone I said that. My vegetarian friends may just have my head or force me to eat salads. Well, don't mind me, I'm just teasing.
If you were wowed by the circus trio, this will blow your mind. I don't know what scientists are cooking up in their labs, but this is very suspicious. Someone managed to capture an insect, and you won't believe what they found. It had the number 36 branded on it. Unless you have an explanation for insects getting numbers tattooed on them, this worries me and is quite frankly scary. Is this some kind of lab-generated insect, or a spy insect with the designation Agent 036? Or is it merely a fake? Initially, I was skeptical and thought it might be fake, but then another person shared footage of a smaller insect with similar markings. Could these insects be artificially created due to a scarcity of insects capable of performing specific functions, or are the scientists involved in something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Next up, we have this capture from Central Kentucky. It comes from a driver whose curiosity had exposed him to more than he'd anticipated and thought he could handle. Under the cover of the night, he decided to embark on a woodland escapade seeking a thrilling adventure. Little did he know, his exploration would lead him to an eerie and inexplicable sight, captured right before your eyes. It was a carcass of a creature he initially thought was a bear. He took a picture and got home, only to realize that it might not be a bear at all. If you look closely, you'll see a head that doesn't look canine in the least, a hunchback and a foot. He thought he'd discovered something interesting, a Bigfoot. That's how he, at least, uploaded it online. But is that really a Bigfoot? Admittedly, the head doesn't resemble that of a bear, but could decomposition be distorting its appearance? The same applies to the feet. They too show signs of decomposition. For the feet, bears do have feet as well, with 5 toes equipped with strong claws. The hunchback could only be because of its lying position. But what do you think, bear or Bigfoot? Dragons are those mythical creatures that have fired up our imagination for centuries. They've taken on various forms in folklore and tales from different cultures, but do they truly exist? Now let's dive into some intriguing footage that's been making the rounds on the internet. The footage shows a peculiar dragon-like creature lifeless on the ground. At first glance, it might appear to be some sort of eel, but a closer look and you'll notice it has some rather dragon-like features. Spikes along its tail and those long antenna-like structures on its head certainly add to the mystique. So here's the big question. Is this a well-crafted hoax, a peculiar eel, or perhaps just the remains of a real-life dragon? A part of me wants to lean toward the option of it being real because I'd, of course, want proof that dragons existed. Thinking about it a second time, I'd rather it wasn't real, though. What about you? Have you ever walked into your office and everything was out of place even though every single person went home? Perhaps you should watch this footage.
security camera fixed in an office captured the mysterious events that unfolded whilst everyone was away from the office. In this black and white footage, we observe one office chair following another, moving to the far end of the room. It's eerie because there's no one sitting in these chairs. They seem to move on their own. Could it be the presence of spirits that can only act under the moonlight? Well, all who saw the footage believes that's exactly what we're seeing. Others stated that it could actually be a glitch in the Matrix, but we've had a lot of them today. I call this one out to be a paranormal event. What about you? Had any such experiences? Care to share in the comments section? We'd really love to read. One look at this, and paranormal enthusiasts might speculate it's a cursed creature, a skinwalker, or a shapeshifter. But let me burst your bubble. It's simply a deformed goat. Meet this remarkable goat born without its hind legs, yet thriving and living just like any other farm animal in China. Experts believe that this deformity may have been caused by a calcium-phosphorus imbalance due to the mother's pregnancy or other complications. Most younglings do not even make it out of the womb alive, and if they do, they barely survive a week. But this little guy here happens to be among the strong few. The deformed animal can move gracefully and balance itself on its front legs without a problem. Just look at this little guy go. This is a miracle on two legs. We've seen the ghosts and spirits of humans more often than we can state on this channel, but what about animals? If anyone asked whether animals had ghosts, I would have laughed at the idea, but here's a video challenging that assertion. If you watch the video closely, you see an owl moving through the environment. At this moment, it looks like any other owl, but once the owl lifts off from the ground, we see what looks like a ghostly form of a bird lift off as well and fly in the opposite direction. Unlike the real bird that lands on the stump in front of it, the ghostly shadow disappears. If that's a ghost, what does that mean? Because the bird is still alive. Or could it be a spirit of that particular forest that takes the form of owls because they populate the area? Well, we can't say for sure, but it could also be another worldly creature taking the form of the bird. From a logical standpoint, we are stumped. There seems to be no explanation for this baffling footage. One possibility is that the camera could be reacting in peculiar ways under certain conditions. If that's the case, can any one of you explain? We'd like to read it in the comments section. Let's journey back in time to Italy, where an intriguing incident unfolded on a serene beach. A resident, while taking in the coastal view, was startled to witness a perplexing phenomenon. In a matter of minutes, the tranquil waters that once graced the shoreline began to recede, leaving behind only stretches of bare sand. This unanticipated event prompted questions about our collective actions and their consequences for our beloved planet. It serves as a stark reminder of the delicate balance within Earth's natural systems and the potential repercussions of human activity on the environment. The complex interplay between various factors, including climate change, ocean currents, and geological processes, can occasionally manifest in these unusual occurrences. Have you ever pondered the concept of the Matrix? Could we all be living in a simulation? Well, watch this next clip and tell me what you think. In the clip, we see an airplane, right? But it's just hanging there in the sky, frozen in place. Now, I'm no aviation expert, but I'm pretty sure planes are supposed to move. But for some reason, this one's just chilling, defying the laws of physics. Could this be an actual glitch in the Matrix, or is it simply an optical illusion? Tell us what you think. We'd love to hear it. This image just sends shivers down my spine. The idea of the Wolfman actually existing is a nightmare to many people, yet here's an image that might just prove that they do exist. In the image, we see a dog-furred beast with somewhat human features. The posture of the headshot makes it seem to appear to be standing on two legs. As much as the image seems frighteningly real, deep down, I had a hunch that it might just be a costume, and it turns out I was right.
Despite some attempts to present it as a paranormal creature sighting, our investigations revealed that it actually belonged to a popular costume maker, putting an end to the mystery and the excitement surrounding the image. Bummer. Does this look like what I think it is? A T-Rex? You know, we shouldn't even be fazed by these sightings anymore. Back in the day, if I stumbled upon this trail cam footage, I'd debunk it without hesitation. But at this point, when scientists are trying to resurrect woolly mammoths, the likelihood of a dinosaur roaming around is not impossible. Technically speaking, though, that's not a T-Rex. It's too small to be. Instead, it's a velociraptor, and although smaller, these things are no joke. Sure, it could be a hoax, but considering the remarkable progress of science, we might actually have a real-life Jurassic Park in just a few years, which sounds fun, but then could also spell doom for all humanity. Whether or not we bring back dinosaurs is a topic for another day. Today, we want to get to the bottom of this. Do you think it's real, or is this fake?
Have you ever wondered why certain places in the world are always frozen in ice? Well, if you haven't, we have on your behalf, and we think it's a good thing. This next clip proves our point. In 2014, a concerning discovery was made in Siberia as scientists identified a potentially harmful virus in the thawing permafrost. This raised alarms about the consequences of melting ice in polar regions. The theory suggests that the icy environment has preserved various pathogens, and with climate warming, these ancient threats may be unleashed. The worry stems from the potential release of dormant pathogens, viruses, or bacteria that have been frozen for centuries. The impact of these ancient microbes on modern ecosystems and human health is a topic of study and concern amongst scientists. As climate change continues to thaw ice, researchers closely monitor these developments to better understand and address potential risks associated with the release of long-buried pathogens. Imagine a more dangerous pandemic than COVID-19 showing up from nowhere and making everybody sick. You know what? Stop imagining. We can't have that. Hold your breath for a moment as we unravel the mystery behind this seemingly nightmarish creature captured in the depths of the ocean. At first glance, it appears to be a creature with multiple heads, each with razor-sharp teeth. However, fear not, for the reality is far less sinister than our initial instincts might suggest. This eerie entity is, in fact, a collective of young Odontoblairbus gobies. Odontoblairbus gobies, also known as mudskippers, are specialized fish that are adapted to live in intertidal zones where land and water meet. They can breathe both air and water, and their pectoral fins are modified for a sort of walking movement on land. The younglings of Odontoblairbus goby might have distinctive features that can appear unusual, especially if you're not familiar with them.
This footage gives me the creeps. Listen closely and you'll hear a woman's voice in the background, capturing what seems to be a typical scene with her son. At first glance, everything appears ordinary, but let's direct our attention to the tree behind the boy, just beyond the motorcycle. Did you see that? Take a look again. Was that a limb? What could that be? Initially, I considered it a snake or a prankster, but upon closer inspection, it becomes apparent that the mysterious figure emerging from behind the tree is covered in hair. Snakes are scaly and humans seldom have hair on their hands. What then could it be? A juvenile Bigfoot, an ape, or a Pombero? We'll leave that up to you to decide. How would you respond when Google Street View shows you pictures of a suspicious-looking man in a mask, kneeling instead of the remote serene woods you're hoping to see? Well, for the owner of the image, this is no hypothetical question. Google uses different methods and technology to make sure you get the best of its application, like Maps, Earth, and even the Street View. How then does something like this end up on Google Street View? Could there have been an error, or did the application actually capture a wicked and suspicious-looking man out there? Assuming the man is real, could it be cosplay, or is there a dangerous and possibly wicked, heartless man out there in the woods taking lives? While we may not know the exact location to verify this, what do you personally think? Is this real, or is it simply a hoax?
A man set a trail camera on his property in the woods. If you've been on this channel, you know how much of a great help trail cameras have been when it comes to capturing animals in the wild and even paranormal creatures. But this time, the camera captured something else. Soldiers. The camera actually recorded soldiers equipped with weapons moving cautiously through the wooded terrain. The soldiers' alert and vigilant demeanor suggests they may be on high alert, possibly anticipating a threat or danger. The peculiar nature of the footage leaves viewers speculating about the reasons behind the military presence in such an unexpected location. What could prompt the deployment of soldiers in a seemingly peaceful wooded area? Training, alien capture, Bigfoot, or am I simply losing it? This man found something strange in Nevada on Google Maps. As you zoom in, a peculiar spiral-like structure appears on the landscape, drawing you in for a closer look. After a few seconds, you discover a seemingly isolated house with a lone figure in a white robe riding a bicycle. But wait, there's some more weirdness. As you keep virtually exploring, you discover a group of people, everyone dressed in the same white robes, forming a circle around the spiral. They're all in the same mysterious and synchronized pose. The mystery deepens as you wonder what this isolated gathering is all about and what they're up to. Is it a hidden cult engaging in peculiar rituals, or does it conceal a deeper secret?
Next, we have a trail cam capture of a creature that looks like a grasshopper, but it's the size of a man. Did you see it? In the first capture, we see its face, and in the second, we see the rest of its body. My team and I almost discarded the footage because we thought it was a regular grasshopper caught on a trail camera. After a second look, and we realized that the creature was actually the size of a man. I mean, take a look at the trees in the background. Do you see its size correlation with the creature? It's definitely the size of a man, if not bigger. We cross-checked our database of paranormal and otherworldly creatures and couldn't find anything remotely like this creature. Could it be a new creature that's yet to be documented, or are we simply looking at a computer-generated image? Share your thoughts with us. If we know anything about rattlesnakes, it's that they are very dangerous, which is what makes what I'm about to show you more profound. Have a look. Did that make you jump? Believe me when I say that you're not the only one. This is yet another footage that's almost made me throw my phone away. But let's double back to the footage. Would you believe me if I told you that that snake is the diamondback rattlesnake, which is also known as the eastern diamondback rattlesnake? Just in case you didn't know, that's one of the most venomous species of snake in the entire United States, and the man recording the footage casually walked up to it. Thankfully, the snake didn't immediately go for the kill and chose to warn him. You know how much we love these wild captures, but if you ever have to put yourself in danger, don't ever do it. Stay clear of wild animals. They're not pets and won't hesitate to attack you to protect themselves.
Well, how do you explain this? If this clip were taken in the ocean, I'd argue it was some species of octopus, but this was clearly recorded on land. The last time I checked, we didn't have such creatures living amongst us. Unless, of course, it's an undiscovered species of land animal. Everything would make sense if it were, but that doesn't appear to be the case. Once this hit our paranormal groups, it naturally went viral and the debate started. Some believed that this was a previously unknown species. Some also argued that this had to be alien. Others thought it was a mechanical device that had been perfectly positioned to appear as though it were alive. Others thought it was CGI and clearly a hoax. Personally, I don't have an opinion and I can't say for sure what it is, but I'm tempted to take the side of it being a mechanically set up device. Why? The answer is simple. Take a good look at the clip and you will realize that the creature, if we can call it that, only moves to and fro in a perfectly straight line. If this were real, I doubt any creature would move like that, especially when it's being threatened. The arms are also just moving around without any clear direction, almost as if it's some mechanical device that's been programmed to do so. You don't have to take my word for it, though. Perhaps that's the spirit of skepticism at work in me. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you remember the peculiar anomaly that caught our attention in Africa at the beginning of April? Well, it's resurfaced again, but this time it was observed near Antarctica not too far from South Africa. Reports suggest that huge waves were seen swamping over the area, which is quite intriguing. However, further investigation reveals that such waves are not entirely uncommon in South Africa. Similar occurrences have been reported in locations like Queensbury Bay and East London. A user on one of our platforms made a profound input on the subject. Someone needs to look up this old video. Something like 15 years ago, there was a satellite image of waves reaching over 100 feet. It was in this area. That's why cargo ships don't travel the roof directly across South America. Ships get ripped apart. I'm sure there is something going on, but this has been well documented for decades. I remember the video as well from cargo ships of waves covering these massive ships. Naturally, the masses believe something odd is happening here, perhaps a secret government project causing these strange occurrences. They still hold onto the idea that even if it's not a government project, the government is covering things up. Our scientists tell it that these waves are caused by a combination of factors, including strong winds, ocean currents, and underwater topography. This causes them to sometimes reach heights of over 30 meters, making them a significant danger to ships and other vessels. So are these waves just waves, or could there be more to them?
Speaking of creatures we have a hard time identifying, a subscriber of the channel sent this capture in. He believes it's a paranormal creature haunting his property. We've critically looked at the image for several days and can't seem to make out what it really is. Team member says he believes we're looking at a hog, but I personally don't see anything of interest or worry in the capture. Do you? Speaking of wild predators, take a look at this majestic and beautiful wild cat. Do you know what species of cat it is? Do you have an idea of what it's doing in the footage? Tell us in the comments section and add one rare fact about the creature. Start your comment with bonus footage so we easily identify it. The most accurate description with the rarest fact will win a feature in our next video. All the best.
Next, we have another clip that's almost unbelievable. Take a look. Tell me, do you see it too? Just so I know we're on the same page, do you see a man with eyes in his body? You do? Then I'm not so crazy after all. This clip was sent in to us by someone who claims to be suffering from a similar situation. Now, I know I already called myself a skeptic, but I find it hard to believe this is real. It's possible that the person who sent the clip may be suffering from something similar, but as far as this clip is concerned, the man in the video doesn't have multiple eyes on his body. We shared the clip with a friend who's an expert in all things VFX and CGI, and he stated that the clip had been altered. The man was filmed, and then some CGI was included. If you pay attention to the clip, you'll realize that it's a tad unnatural. He attributes this to the fact that the clip has been altered. Despite his strong stance, there are still some who believe that this is the real deal. They claim to have encountered such individuals and rationalize that the unnatural movements may only look like that because it was recorded on a low-quality device. What do you guys think? In this next clip, you can see a man using a metal thing to strike a rock. The rock, which was initially gray, suddenly turns red within a matter of seconds. This is quite unusual as rocks are typically considered non-living and shouldn't react to being hit. Various commenters have offered their theories in an attempt to explain this phenomenon. Some have suggested that the rock is a type of red stone that changes color when struck. Several others have suggested that the rock may contain either magnesium or magnetite. Magnetite is a natural stone that has magnetic properties. One commenter clarified that magnetite has natural magnetic south properties, which means that it can attract or repel other magnets. While these are interesting observations, they don't truly explain what exactly caused the rock to turn red. Rocks aren't exactly my thing, so can you help? Or is this just a paranormal occurrence?
Do you see that? Can you see how the creature stares directly and eerily at the camera? It's almost as though it knew it was being watched and wanted to let whoever on the camera to be aware of this fact. But you have got to wonder, is that really a gorilla, or are we dealing with a cryptid like a Bigfoot? Don't get me wrong, but when you take a closer look at the image, you'll realize that whatever it is, it's walking on its 2 feet, not necessarily on its knuckles like a gorilla would. I don't know about you, but if I owned this trail camera, I'd watch my back or avoid that part of the woods altogether. Next, we have this very unusual trail cam capture of deer. Wondering what makes this capture unusual? Take a good look at the deer in the image. Do you see those claw marks? They look like they were inflicted by something really big and dangerous. But what could have done that? The truth is, no one knows, not even the one who uploaded the image online. He believes it could be a cougar or a bear, but I haven't known these creatures to let their prey go, especially once they'd captured it, unless by some stroke of luck. So tell us, what do you think happened to this deer? Would love to know your thoughts. Next, we have footage from the mysterious world of Just Ghouly Things, which is a YouTube channel dedicated to exploring all things paranormal. In this clip, they embarked on a spine-tingling adventure at the haunted Brookstown Inn in Winston-Salem. As they ventured down the inn's creaky old stairs, the unexpected happened. One of the two suddenly slipped and tumbled unceremoniously down the steps. While the fall may look ordinary, pay attention to what she says when asked if okay.
Okay. Are you okay? I felt like something pushed me. No. Are you serious?
She states that something pushed her down. But what? Well, when you go poking your nose in an abandoned, creepy, and spooky place, you don't exactly hope to find Santa now, do you? Now, we all know that places don't earn the moniker haunted for no reason. It's like a big, flashing neon sign saying, prepare for some paranormal happenings. Either way, if what she says is true, then perhaps they encountered something paranormal. And if they did encounter something paranormal, then perhaps they should count themselves very lucky to have escaped with a mere push. Don't you think?
Okay. Are you okay? I felt like something pushed me. No.
Now, we have had creepy videos in today's episode, but this next one makes my heart skip a beat. Not because the subject was a demon, but rather because they were humans trying to hurt another. Just watch. At first glance, this video seems unremarkable. A lady in blue appears to be making a purchase from the lady behind the wooden counter dressed in black. It looks like ice cream, and they engage in conversation. We don't hear what they discuss, but pay attention to the man a few meters from them. He appears to be stalking the lady or just patiently waiting for her, and the seller recognizes that. Once the young girl leaves the woman, the man in question says this to whomever he's talking to on the phone. I'm prepared to sacrifice my life. The lady in black notices something is wrong, especially because the black car's door is open, and quickly rushes to the side of the little girl. In that moment, it becomes apparent the man was going to push the young girl in and rush off with her. Does that not scare you? It's scary to think they were planning to carry out something like this in broad daylight. Kudos to the older woman for sticking out for the young lady. I don't know how many individuals would be that selfless in today's dangerous world. Please take care of yourselves out there. We love you too much to lose you. Next, we have another trail cam footage taken from a remote woodland area. We've no idea what we're looking at. Perhaps you could help. Did you see it? Watch again. You see it, don't you? There's quick movement from the right side of the frame to the left. The camera's position is quite the distance from the moving object, but whatever it is, it's quite fast. We attempted zooming in to perhaps discover what the moving object is, and this is what we saw. You see it too, don't you? There's no being in it. It just looks like moving fog and smoke, but how's that even possible, especially at that speed? Could it be a paranormal creature? Could it be the result of zooming in the low-quality image? Or could the footage be edited? Share your thoughts with us. We'd love to hear it. Next, we have this footage that was sent to us from another subscriber. He was very sure that his trail camera had captured a skinwalker, but instead of talking about it, perhaps I should let you see it. It's not always that you see a deer stand on its hind legs. Seeing the deer stand on its hind legs right in front of the camera made the individual who sent it in think it was a skinwalker playing with him. Based on my little knowledge of deer, however, I know that that's definitely not a skinwalker. Deer can stand on their hind legs when they need to reach food from higher heights, which is what I think is going on here. But I could be wrong. Of all the things a skinwalker could do in front of a trail camera, why would it stand on its hind legs? But those are just my thoughts. What do you think? Arizona is a place known for its breathtaking landscapes and, well, a fair share of intriguing tales. Now, in Mogollon, they've got quite the reputation when it comes to stories of Bigfoot sightings, so when these peculiar sounds started echoing through the area, you can bet the locals were curious. These eerie, howling sounds started in the dead of night, echoing all over the town. If you pay close attention, you'll realize that the howls are a bit deeper and more resonant than your average wolf or coyote. Knowing it couldn't be any of these dangerous predators, the people in the neighborhood started suspecting that the sound was coming from a Bigfoot. It was either Bigfoot or an animal in the area that had all of a sudden developed a knack for theatrics. While there's no way to confirm what it is, we can say with certainty that we loved this footage. What about you? Our journey through the mysterious realms of trail cam captures brings us to an intriguing photograph. In this image, we encounter a creature with dark, goat-like features, its gaze fixed directly upon the camera lens. At first glance, one might dismiss it as a common goat. However, seasoned viewers of this channel are well aware of the trail cam's uncanny ability to unveil creatures that hide beneath the guise of ordinary animals. There's an undeniable eeriness about the creature's gaze, a sensation that sends shivers down the spine, not the kind one would welcome. It evokes a peculiar sense of foreboding reminiscent of the infamous skinwalker phenomenon. As much as we'd love to tell you it's one of these, after scouring the internet, we discovered that this horned ruminant is actually a real animal species. It's called the Soala, and it was only discovered in Vietnam in the 1990s. Cool, huh? If you still haven't hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment, could you do it now? Thank you very much. It means a lot to us and allows us to create more content like this. Moving on to the next clip. Next, we have this rare footage from the wild. I mean, just have a look. That's a mama moose and its baby calf. If you know anything about the wild, you know night times are such dangerous times and danger soon arrives from the right part of the frame. It moves quickly and goes after the calf. Mama Moose notices the shift in the atmosphere and went into a defensive stance, but even that was not enough to protect her young one. In an attempt to knock out the predator, she knocks out her young and the wolves try to capitalize on it. She doesn't give up, however, and stands over her calf, kicking frantically. I can imagine what fear it felt knowing how helpless they were. As much as I'd love to tell you that they overcame and escaped the wolves, the truth is we don't know if they did. The whole thing ended off of camera, but knowing how relentless and persistent wolves can be, I don't think it ended well. Now let's step into the paranormal and mysterious. Take a look at this trail cam capture. Do you see the creature in the capture? It looks like some type of ape, doesn't it? But take a closer look. You'll realize its body proportions are definitely not the same as any known ape. What's more, there's something funny going on with its face. Despite the blurry nature of the footage, the uploader believes the creature is holding a baby close to its face. My team and I struggle to see that, but can you? If you can, please do share in the comments section. As remarkable as that is, that's not what makes this capture special. The image was taken in Florida, and the uploader believes it's a capture of none other than the skunk ape. For those unfamiliar with the skunk ape, think of it as a version of Bigfoot that lives in the swamps. With that said, what do you think? Could this really be a skunk ape, or is this whole thing merely an exaggeration? Share your thoughts with us.
I wish I could tell you that that's the end of the weird stuff, but no, it gets weirder. Take a look at this next clip. Yup, those are alleged alien babies. We don't call this show classified captures for no reason. This was also sent in by a user here claiming to be part of a secret team that takes care of alien babies on the planet. As proof, he or she sent in this clip. I say he or she because the individual refused to share any personal information at the risk of being discovered by the organization he or she works with. The exchange was exciting at first because of the mysterious nature of the person involved. Once we got this clip, however, it just didn't feel that way anymore. My team started suspecting right away that there had to be clips of silicon babies in the form of aliens. Sure enough, we did find the clip somewhere with people calling it silicon. You've seen the clip too, so what do you think? Now, what is this? Black, thick, gigantic strands floating to the ocean's surface. The first thing that came to mind when I saw them was wigs. Turns out they aren't wigs and the mermaids aren't shedding their hair. I wonder what gives me such ideas. I did the research and discovered that I didn't need to. A number of the individuals who commented on the original post had it right. We're dealing with kelp. For those unfamiliar with it, kelp is a type of large brown seaweed that thrives in cold, nutrient-rich waters and grows in underwater forests found along coastlines. These underwater forests can extend from the ocean floor to the surface, where the kelp fronds create a thick and dense canopy. Kelp can grow up to 60 meters in length, making it one of the fastest-growing plants in the world. The kelp forests are home to numerous marine organisms, including fish, crabs, and sea urchins that rely on kelp for food and shelter. They can, however, become detached from the seafloor due to storms, strong currents, or other factors. When that happens, they float to the surface and create large clumps or mats like in the clip above. So, no wigs. Disappointing. Before I move on to the next clip, though, I thought I'd share my favorite comment from the original post with you. The first time I read this, I almost believed it till the last statement. That's why I had to do my own research. The internet can be a funny place. Who knew?
Next, we have this odd-looking capture from a trail cam located deep in the woods. Did you see it? Does it look like a normal capture you'd expect from a trail cam? It's certainly not. The owner of the trail cam was surprised that the image came out like this on his trail cam since he'd not added any effects to the image and the device itself was not faulty in any way and captured high-definition images. A closer look at the tape and you'll realize that it looks like a bear or some other type of canine. But bears don't turn camera images white. What then could be going on in the image? Are we dealing with a being from another dimension? Could it be an alien that ran some interference with the camera to delete footage it may have captured of itself, or is the uploader of the image simply lying? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. We'd love to hear them. For our next clip, we travel back in time to 1994 for footage not many have seen. Take a look. Yep, that's a man in the woods alone with a Bigfoot. The exact location is near Deduct Spring in the Blue Mountain Range in Oregon. You can tell from his heavy breathing that the man's very anxious and perhaps even scared. His shaky hands make it hard to tell what he's scared of, but a few seconds into the footage and it becomes apparent. There's a giant a few meters away from him with a human-like gait, yet having an ape-like body. Its arms are unusually large and it walks as though it was very heavy. It looks like it could really cause some damage to the man if it wanted to, which explains his heavy breathing. But for some odd reason, the creature isn't interested in him. The man recording the footage believes it's a Bigfoot, and I'm tempted to say I do believe him. I mean, how else do we explain what we're seeing here? Bear in mind that this is 1994 and CGI and special effects were not as popular as they are today, unless, of course, that's a man in a suit. But that's least likely if you ask me. What do you think, though?
Moving away from aliens, what are your thoughts on beings living in the underground, aka our sewage systems? Sounds comical, right? Well, how'd you explain this? Yep, these were captured by everyday folk like you and I. These are random encounters that showed individuals or people picking things from the surface world. I know it sounds funny, but there have been many instances like this. What do you think might be going on in such situations? Some have suggested they are kids playing, but that wouldn't make sense. Which parent would allow their kids to play in the sewage systems? How did they get there in the first place? Others have also suggested that they may be demons trying to make it to the surface world. Now, this seems like it's overreaching a bit. If demons can escape hell, I doubt our sewage systems would be capable of holding them. Forgive me for sounding pessimistic, but I'm just thinking through these facts. What do you guys think, though? Could there be a reason why these things are coming up, or do you think the entire thing is a hoax? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Have you ever seen an angry and crazy hippo? Well, today's your lucky day. Speaking of luck, that zookeeper is very fortunate to escape unscathed. The last thing you want to do is upset a hippo. Even lions avoid them. They are aggressive, strong, and almost indestructible. And those jaws, I repeat, the zookeeper is fortunate to not have experienced their bite force firsthand. Surviving a hippo attack requires staying calm, assessing the situation for signs of aggression, and slowly backing away while keeping an eye on the hippo's movements. Supposing you're in the wild and the hippo charges, seek higher ground or a sturdy structure, create distance, and use deterrents like loud noise or pepper spray if available. If attacked, protect yourself by curling into a ball with your head tucked. The zookeeper was able to do this instinctively, which might have saved him. Do you think you could have handled the situation better than him? Let us know in the comments section.
Remember the apparent peeping Bigfoot clip from earlier? Well, here's another one, only instead of hearing the people describe what happened, we actually see it happening. Have a look. Remarkable, isn't it? Based on the quality of the footage, however, it's hard to tell what we're dealing with. Some have suggested it could be a bear, but others in the paranormal community believe that we're actually dealing with a Bigfoot here. If you ask me, however, I have reservations. First of all, the creature's eyes are beady and small, which makes me doubt it's a Bigfoot. Secondly, I don't think this footage looks like the ones taken by trail cameras unless it's a normal camera. But if it is, how did their hands not shake while they recorded, and why didn't the creature take off? So many unanswered questions and red flags. Forgive me for playing the devil's advocate, but what do you think? Do you think the footage is real, or do you have reservations too? Tell us in the comments section. Before I say anything about this particular one, watch the footage.
1, 2, 3, 4. I don't see the thumb. There is a print right here that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what this thing did.
You can pick it up barely right now.
That's a left-hand print.
That's the kitchen. So the interesting part about these windows, these were the only 2 windows in the entire home that you could see through the curtains. We changed those. She changed those curtains yesterday.
This thing was peeking in to see what y'all were doing.
That's the only window he could see.
It was peeking in to see what you were doing.
Yup, you heard what you heard. The man in the bluish shirt lives in the home you just saw. According to him, their time in the house was interrupted by a giant furry creature that appears to be looking into their home. The man in red came over to carry out some friendly neighborhood forensics and concluded that they indeed had been visited by a Bigfoot. He points to handprints on the window, which we can't see, but just imagine being in your home and seeing a giant ape-like creature staring into your room. I can't imagine what it would feel like. Some people in the comments section are convinced that the Bigfoot was only curious, while some thought it was only there because it was hungry and could smell something nice from the kitchen. Others, however, don't share that enthusiasm. They think he was there to plan his attack. It's hard for us to believe a Bigfoot would do that, though. It's out of its character. But what do you think about the whole thing? Were the men telling the truth or simply looking for fame? Share your thoughts with us. For our next clip, we find ourselves amid an intriguing and atmospheric moment captured on camera in the enchanting landscapes of Scotland. The setting is adorned with the promise of a brewing storm as the dark clouds gather ready to unleash their elemental fury. Amidst this breathtaking display of nature's might, there's an unexpected coalesce, an enigmatic twist. As the ominous clouds, our attention is drawn to something truly captivating, a congregation of radiant orbs like celestial dancers circling the resplendent orange sun. This mesmerizing sight raises a series of questions that begs for answers. What could these luminous orbs signify? Are they envoys from distant galaxies, UFOs making their presence known, or perhaps is there a more terrestrial explanation, one that resides within the boundaries of our understanding? Some believe so. They believe it might be nothing more than flares from divers or some military aircraft. While that sounds logical, a second look at the footage and you'll realize that there's no way it could be any of these. So what then is this? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. If you made it this far and haven't hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment, could you do that before we go on? Thank you very much. It means a lot. So moving back to today's episode. Do you believe the dead still lurk around their homes and family? If you said no and actually believe it's ridiculous, how do you explain this? This photo captures a Western family of 6 in their living room, as evidenced by the television in the background. At first glance, it's a heartwarming portrayal of unity and love. However, upon closer inspection, we notice a 7th presence. The family didn't notice this until they went over the image they had taken on the day. You might be wondering what's wrong with having grandma in the pic, right? Well, the point is, there's not to be a grandma in it, not because she wasn't invited, but because they couldn't invite her. Grandma had passed on, yet here she was in their picture. They couldn't believe it, and it scared and excited them at the same time. The picture was uploaded online and many shared sympathies with them. There were some, however, who believed this whole story was simply false. What say you? For our next footage, we visit the Tejon Ranch in California. It's remarkable footage, isn't it? It's not every day you get to see a ferocious predator like the bear hunt in its full glory. See the speed and power. The piglet had no chance, and I won't be surprised if its parents fled for their lives as well. Knowing boars, however, that will be a rare occurrence as they'd fight to the death for their young. Either way, it's a sad end for the piglet, but that's the circle of life, I guess. Next, we have footage we haven't had in a while on this channel, and by that, I mean footage of a child lost in the forest. Take a look. As you can see, there's a young child roaming the forest at night. The uploader of the footage insists that there are no settlements in this part of the wood where the camera that captured this was located. Due to this fact, he finds it hard to believe this footage exists and thinks we're dealing with a ghost or spirit. But are we now? It's hard to say, but I'm having one of those hunches that this footage isn't real. Although there's not much to go within the footage, if this image was captured in the woods, there should definitely be more foliage than we're seeing in the capture. Don't get me wrong, but it looks like this was captured in the city or at least a developed area. I suspect that the pole to the boy's right might not necessarily be a tree or a shrub, but possibly a utility pole in a residential area. A part of me just feels like someone is looking for their 5 minutes of fame. But what do you think? Next, we have security camera footage that's nothing short of intriguing. Let's have a look. In the clip, we see a quiet street in an ordinary town captured by the watchful eye of a security camera. At first glance, it's business as usual, no surprises here. But hold onto your hats because the plot thickens. Within mere seconds, the ordinary takes a spine-chilling twist. A peculiar dark figure materializes right in the middle of the road, a presence that seems almost otherworldly, and then, as swiftly as it appeared, it vanished. Sure, we live in an age of advanced technology capable of conjuring illusions with ease, but there is an unsettling quality to this footage, isn't there? Something about the way the figure vanishes in perfect sync with the approaching rider sends shivers down the spine. The footage might not have been captured in HD, but if it were doctored, we should be able to see the discrepancies, shouldn't we? Does this make this real? If it does, what was that and what was it doing in the street? Please share your thoughts with us.
Aquí la gente está asustada. Se apagó. Uy. Y está sonando. Y eso suena.
Our next stop takes us to the captivating landscapes of Ecuador, where an unusual incident unfolded. Residents were initially drawn to the scene by a mysterious blinking light in the distance reminiscent of an explosion. Their curiosity led them to a surprising discovery: a peculiar rock. Upon closer examination, the theory emerged that the initial explosion may have been caused by a meteorite impact. The way the residents cautiously handled the rock hinted that it might still be radiating heat from its celestial journey. What makes this event even more intriguing is that some similar explosions and meteorite sightings have been reported in various corners of the globe in recent times. Could it all be a mere coincidence, or are there cosmic forces at play, perhaps even the subtle hand of extraterrestrial visitors? You tell us. Still on creatures from the lower depths, take a look at this clip. What does it remind you of? What does this look like? It's not too hard to guess. A lower body that looks fishy and an upper body that's, well, human. That's gotta be a mermaid, hasn't it? The body proportions, however, defy what we normally see, and there's something odd about the clip. I just can't put my finger on it.
It offsets the whole thing and prevents it from feeling like the usual clips we see of mermaids. I just can't put my finger on it, but can you help? According to reports, an alleged UFO crash occurred in Russia in 1937. The incident involved extraterrestrial beings, and some of their bodies were recovered from the crash site. However, these beings were already dead. The incident was initially kept under wraps, but over time, people began talking about it, and some footage has emerged that is believed to be evidence of the incident. The footage shows the corpse of a being lying on the ground. However, what's interesting is that the being appears to look eerily similar to an emaciated human body rather than a stereotypical image of an alien we often see in movies. The being's physical features include long fingers, a large head, and an elongated body. The video has sparked a lot of debate, with many people in the comments section suggesting that the being may not be alien after all. Naturally, the incident is one of many that have fueled speculation about the existence of extraterrestrial life and the possible interactions with humans. While the truth about this incident may never be fully known, it remains intriguing. So what do you think? Is this an actual alien or just a hoax?
The video starts off with footage of a woman smiling and possibly taking a selfie. You take a closer look and you realize that no, that's not all she's doing. She seems to be stuck in doing the same thing over and over again. Now bear in mind, the original footage we received is at least 20 seconds, and the woman doesn't for once change her actions or facial expression. Could she be glitching and stuck in an infinite loop in the Matrix? Well, many who saw the footage initially thought that was what was happening. I was tempted to believe it too, but with the advent of TikTok and all these crazy camera transitions, it's possible that she's just doing one of those trending stuff kids of today do. If that's the case, then there's little cause for alarm. But if it's not, then perhaps you and I need to get ready to break out of the Matrix, and if you've watched Neo's movies, you should know it won't be an easy one to do. But what do you think though? Matrix glitch or some serious camera work? Share your thoughts in the comments section. For our next capture, we visit the woods. The capture reveals a forest with smaller tree trunks and an abundance of lush green leaves, suggesting it might be a woodland area with year-round rainfall or water supply. All seems greener on that side until our focus is shifted to the elephant, or rather, the creature in the middle. It's clear that's no elephant. That was simply me being figurative. My English teacher would be so proud. Anyway, that creature is clearly in motion, causing a dark blur. But what exactly is it? Some speculate that it could be none other than one of the members of the big cat family, the Black Panther. Taking a second look at it, well, I'm skeptical. I'm tempted to believe it could be something more, perhaps a skinwalker transforming or something along those lines. What say you?
Has your food ever tried to escape from your plate? I'm not talking about live food, no. I mean a freshly prepared meal. Well, no. Take a look at this clip. Yeah, this is real. We did our research and confirmed the clip was very authentic. So what are we dealing with here? Well, a number of individuals believe the meat is possessed. While that sounds interesting, I'm actually wondering why spirits would want to possess meat. Does it have some nutritional value, or does it allow them access to the bodies of those who consume it? Well, that will be interesting to ponder. It turns out it's not really the case. After some hours of researching, we found out what you are seeing on your screens is now perfectly normal. It turns out that whenever freshly chopped animal meat appears to move, it's often due to nerve endings that haven't completely died yet. Even after an animal is slaughtered, some nerve impulses can still fire off, causing muscles to contract and twitch. This phenomenon can make it seem like the meat is moving, just like we're seeing, but it's just the result of residual nerve activity. Additionally, certain chemical reactions and electrical impulses within the muscle tissues can contribute to these movements. It's more common in freshly slaughtered meat and tends to subside as the meat begins to cool and rigor mortis sets in. What do you think, though? Do you agree? Well, some in the original post didn't think so. Take a look at some of my favorite comments. Through the centuries, the world map has undergone numerous transformations, and even now, new territories are still being discovered on our planet.
Around any of these areas, okay? There's North America, South America, Africa, India, Russia, China. Okay, so very similar to this map.
In this clip, a man showcases an updated world map and an old one from 1587, highlighting the differences between the two.
Australia. There is no Australia here because it hasn't been discovered yet. This is 1587. Australia wasn't discovered until 1606. So that's why that's not there. But my main question is...
One of the significant observations made was the lack of Australia on the old map. This raises the question of how a continent so vast could have been unknown to the cartographers of that era. Similarly, Antarctica was also not present on the old map, and the regions were considered as land. The question arises as to whether the lack of these territories was due to a lack of knowledge at the time, or if there is more to it. Some people even speculate that the existence of Antarctica is a scam. What do you think? And before our final video for the day, take a look at my favorite comment from the original post. Do you get it?
All this land. And second thing, what froze them? What happened between 1587 and 1892 where those areas got frozen?
Still on ghostly captures, take a look at this next footage. Before the unusual events unfold, this video captures a male figure in his home confidently moving from the door to what appears to be a kitchenette. As he moves around the counter, there's no one else in sight. Suddenly, a turquoise green bag falls from the counter. He returns to place the bag back on the counter. On his way back to the kitchen area, he passes by a chair, and just like that, it begins to move counterclockwise without any physical force, intention, or strength. This can only mean one thing: this house is haunted. It explains why, at the beginning of the video, we see him gazing into the room with curiosity. He doesn't seem perplexed, at least not as much as I'd expect him to be. Is this a regular for him, or does he simply have tough skin? Guess we'll never really know for sure. Next, let's venture into the world of paranormal investigations. Two brave souls from the YouTube channel Haunted Nights decided to explore the eerie Broadwell Funeral Home in Felicity, Ohio. Little did they know they'd capture something rather peculiar. Amid their investigation, as one of them stands before the camera chattering away about the spooky surroundings, something unexpected saunters by in the background. Blink and you might miss it, but it's there. Now this entity is a bit of a mystery, isn't it? From what we can discern, it's pretty distant, making it challenging to pinpoint its exact features. However, it does seem to have an ethereal quality to it, a ghostly presence, if you will. They have a seance later, and whatever paranormal being that was communicates with them. So could this be one of the elusive spirits that call this haunted place home? I'm tempted to believe so. What would you do if you were in their position? Would you continue to explore, or would you get the hell out of the place? When I saw this, the first thing that came to mind was possessed, but then again I thought to myself, perhaps there might be a medical explanation for this, and so I did some research and discovered that there's not. There's no condition that makes the eye as dark as we see. I turned to my paranormal groups, and it turns out my instincts were right. This has to do with paranormal entities that take the form of children to beg for help and, well, do horrible things to those who help them later. This child, on the other hand, looks cute and appears to be with a family. Could our hypothesis be wrong? Could the child have been replaced by some vile spirit, or is this a medical condition I didn't discover in my research? So many questions and yet no answers. Whatever the situation, I can't help but feel sad for the baby, if it is indeed one. Poor baby. Our next clip was taken by the pilot of a military craft. The pilot of the aircraft was on a routine flight when he noticed an unknown craft flying nearby. The craft was circular and had an appearance similar to a saucer. It flew past the pilot's aircraft without any interaction or acknowledgement. According to the pilot, he had no idea what the craft was, which ruled out the possibility of it being a drone.
What is intriguing about the video is that the craft seems to be highly advanced and unlike any human-made aircraft. There's no clear explanation as to what the craft could have been, and it remains a mystery. Do you think it could have been a UFO? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
We visit Cannock Chase, where there was an entire section of the woods dedicated to dolls which hang on trees. Yes, the footage you are seeing is no movie set or scene. It's an actual place somewhere in Cannock Chase. How the dolls got there, no one knows exactly. According to reports, the dolls showed up one day displayed in an eerie fashion. Sometime later, a Ouija board was spotted in the same place with no explanation. Naturally, all who saw it were scared, and the news spread of the unnatural dolls spreading like wildfire. It was even uploaded online, which led to many speculations. Some believed the woodland area had been cursed, others believe a cult was responsible, and many others thought the place had been used for a ritual. After a year, no one went near the dolls for fear of dropping dead or worse. The rumors escalated and became so unbearable that a police officer got rid of all the dolls and Ouija board one day. That was the last anyone heard of them. But we can't help but wonder, did the police meddle with the supernatural? And is he fine? I guess we may never know. Still on Bigfoot? Take a look at that. Looks like a Bigfoot, does it not? This image was apparently captured by a trail camera set up in the woods, and the uploader of the image believes he hit the paranormal motherlode. He believes he has finally captured the highest resolution of Bigfoot images to ever be caught on a trail camera. Taking a look at that image, we don't dispute that that looks like the back of a primate that's capable of standing on its 2 feet. It actually reminds me of the old Kong movies, although the picture is very detailed with the creature's fur et al. When you take a closer look at the edge of its fur that ties into the main image, it's unnaturally blurry, especially on the left side of its body. This makes me doubt the authenticity of the image, and I suspect that it might have been created using AI, but perhaps that's just me. What do you think?
Does hell exist on Earth, or is it in another plane or dimension? I've always wondered about this growing up, and these next clips allegedly hold the answer. According to the original posters of these clips, they discovered hell on Earth where individuals were burning and not dying, sort of like an eternal torment with people perpetually screaming. As much as I want to believe this clip and satisfy my curiosity, they just don't add up. It feels like the screams were edited into the clips and the locations look like an industrial place. This is just a blatant attempt to peddle falsehoods, and I'm very upset. Why am I upset again? Doesn't the internet have a lot of these false videos? Anyway, I would really want to know what the places shown in these clips really do. Could someone educate me? And for our final clip of the day, something beautiful, something exquisite, something rare. Take a look. Now, what are we looking at here? A strange-looking cat-like creature in the forest. What could this guy be? Well, this is a jaguarundi. For those unfamiliar with it, the jaguarundi is a fascinating wild cat that could be found across the Americas. It's a medium-sized animal with a unique appearance characterized by a small head, a long, slender body, and short legs. The jaguarandi's coat can vary from reddish-brown to grayish-brown, and it has a long, bushy tail that's often darker at the tip. This wild cat is a solitary and elusive creature, which makes it quite challenging to spot in the wild. It's known to be active during both the day and night as it hunts for small mammals, reptiles, and birds. The jaguarandy's diet is quite diverse, and it can feed on anything from rodents to lizards to small birds. The jaguarandy is a quiet and relatively calm animal. It's not particularly aggressive and will usually avoid humans if possible. However, it is still a wild animal and should be treated with caution and respect if encountered in the wild. Where does this rank on your list of favorite cats? Let us know in the comments section. And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Oh yeah, before you go, are there clips of videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we will post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and we'll see you in the next one. Our next footage is what I like to consider a rarity among the rare. Take a look. It's as though an unseen force, a celestial presence hidden behind the pristine white clouds, exhales a gentle breath. This ethereal exhale triggers a remarkable phenomenon: the detachment of a cloud from its companions. The cloud appears to drift away, moving independently against the sky's canvas. What could possibly lead to such an enchanting occurrence? Are we truly witnessing celestial beings interacting with the clouds? Well, apparently not. According to experts, this happens more often than we know. It's nothing more than a crown flash. If you're just as confused as I was when I heard it, allow me to explain. Crown flash is a type of optical phenomenon that can occur during thunderstorms or other atmospheric conditions. It involves a brief and localized change in the appearance of lightning, usually near the top of a thunderstorm cloud. This phenomenon could take the form of a series of flashes or a circular or crown-shaped pattern of light. If that confused you, don't worry. I will start a science channel soon for us to learn about these strange things. Hold on to your sense of reality, because this footage takes us on an extraordinary journey into the depths of the bizarre. Picture this: a creature washed ashore, combining the body of a fish with the unmistakable facial features of a horse. Yeah, you heard that right. A fish-horse hybrid that defies the norms of the animal kingdom. Why am I even talking like this? You can clearly see it, right? The first question that might come across your mind is whether this creature is a creation of nature or a fantastical fabrication. The body of a fish seamlessly transitions into a head adorned with a horse-like mouth and herbivorous-looking teeth. It's a spectacle that challenges our understanding of evolutionary biology. Could this be the result of a genetic experiment gone awry, a natural anomaly, or perhaps a clever work of art designed to blur the lines between reality and imagination? Can you do the split? I know a majority of us here can't do it. I must confess I can't. What if I told you I met a mouse that could? Don't believe me? Watch. Yeah, that's a mouse doing the split. We're not exactly sure how it got there, but it's remaining there by doing the split. My team thinks it was trying to escape the humans, and that's not impossible. When survival mode kicks in, it's amazing the things we can do. A split would have been the last thing on my mind, but here it is. There's also the possibility that the people recording it put it there to garner views, but that would just be cruel. Enjoy the natural split. Still on the paranormal, take a look at this image capture. We know trail cams capture a lot of weird and interesting stuff, but what is that? The individual whose trail camera captured this image is unsure of what it is. Some individuals online told him it might be frost on the camera. I don't know much about that, but this looks like a cobweb of some sort. Some in the paranormal community, however, believe that his camera may have captured something paranormal.
The challenge, however, is the fact that we can't tell what it captured. What do you think of his hypothesis, though? Could this merely be frost on the lens as suggested, or are we dealing with something paranormal here? Have you had such an experience, or can you explain what we're seeing? Please talk to us in the comments section, for our curiosity and insatiable search for answers that's consuming us. Yes, I'm exaggerating, but seriously, talk to us. On a seemingly ordinary day by the river, a group of young boys embarked on a swimming adventure, blissfully unaware of the eerie encounter that lay in wait. As they stood by the riverbank with one friend preparing to take the plunge into the water, the observer behind the camera lens noticed an unsettling presence. Amidst the picturesque backdrop of the tranquil river and dense woodland, a pale, emaciated figure emerged from the shadows, lurking ominously among the trees. In a tense moment, the observer alerted his half-naked friend to the unearthly entity lurking just behind them. As the unsuspected swimmer turned to confront this unexpected presence, the creature, realizing it had been discovered, makes a hasty escape into the depths of the woods.
Daí, pode ser bicho. Deixa eu ver lá. De novo. Tá bem perto de ti aí, ó. Sai daí, mano. Você me afastar, sai daí. Sai daí. Vai lá.
While some may argue that this could be an elaborate prank orchestrated by the boys themselves, a closer look at the creature's appearance suggests otherwise. The entity in question bears little resemblance to a human, and the genuine shock and fear etched across the swimmer's face as he laid eyes on it seemed to dispel any notion of a strange hoax. This eerie encounter leaves us with more questions than answers as we grapple with the mystery of what or who exactly lurked in the woods that day. What are your thoughts on this perplexing encounter? Share them with us in the comments section. Back in 2005, a company driver decided to take a leisurely walk through the woodlands of Quebec, Canada. As he was walking through, he came across these beautiful waters in the middle of the forest below. He decided to take a few pictures and some videos. After he retired home to review the footage, it was then that he saw a strange creature looking up at him. The creature was standing behind some bushes on the right side of the image. Do you see it? Initially, he thought it was a Bigfoot, but this one looked very different. It was bipedal and about 6 to 8 feet tall. It had a dog-like face, unlike a Bigfoot, and had a longer snout. The head of the creature was triangular with silver hair on it going all the way to its shoulder, but the rest of its body hair was black. The creature was also holding a white furred animal in its hand that looked like a dog, and its face had a red stain on it. So our guess is that this creature was munching on this dog. What creature are we looking at here, though? Many in the paranormal community believe it's a dogman. Looking at it, I don't blame them for thinking so. You have seen it too, so what are your thoughts? If our next clip proves anything, it's that the pace of technological advancement can sometimes leave us wide-eyed, or in this case, possibly red-eyed. In this extraordinary scenario, this man has a smart eye lens on with a charger discreetly positioned on his eyelid, which is also connected to another device on his temple. It's like living in a sci-fi movie, isn't it? Before you think of getting yourself one, take a good look at his eye. Just look how red his eye is. It leaves us wondering if this is even safe to use at all. Now, it seems we're not just inseparable from our gadgets, they're actually becoming a part of us. How do the rapid advancements in tech make you feel? Do you think we're improving the quality of our lives, or do you think that we're headed on a path of irreversible self-destruction? Share your thoughts. This first clip is one for the extraterrestrial enthusiasts. In this footage, while the reporter is delivering a live TV broadcast by the sea, an unusual event takes place. If you pay attention to the screen just behind him, you'll notice something strange and unusual happening with the sea.
On the right side, a peculiar object emerges from the water, swiftly submerges, and reappears on the opposite side. The swift and mysterious movement of the object has naturally led to many debates. Some suggest it could be evidence of alien technology or an advanced underwater craft. Is this truly a glimpse into the world of advanced technology, or is it perhaps just a natural activity beneath the waves? I guess that's something we'll not be able to say for sure. Slithering into the realm of urban intrigue, our next spectacle unfolds on the streets where the ordinary takes a serpentine twist. In this peculiar footage, we witness a snake engaging in a high-stakes tightrope act, well, more like a power line act. Perhaps the streets below were a tad too bustling for its liking, so it opted for an overhead highway of wires. But as fate would have it, this reptilian daredevil's grip faltered, leading to an unexpected descent to solid ground. In a moment that blends tension and surprise, the snake's grip on the wire appears to falter, leading to an unexpected descent. Poor fella now has to use the road it was desperately avoiding. Hopefully it could make lemonade of the lemons it's being dealt by life, if you know what I mean. This snowboarder was filming after he'd fallen off his board when all of a sudden, this happened. A strange object flew over his head. It was so fast you almost wouldn't notice it, but with a slowdown of the footage we're able to make it out. It's a flying disc that looks like a saucer. Could it be one of those famed alien crafts, the kind often whispered about in extraterrestrial tales, or is there a more grounded explanation, such as it being a human-made drone simply cruising through the wintry air? Some skeptics say that it's all just movie magic, edited to make us guessing. But what do you think? A hoax or real-life alien craft? My money is on the hoax part, but I'd love to hear you too. Just a quick reminder before our next clip comes. If you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a Sasquatch after you now, would you? Talk about blending nature with the digital age. Check out this beetle. It's not your ordinary everyday insect. No, this is an electronic masterpiece. Imagine these robotic insects made of cameras and microphones weaving their way into places we'd never suspect. Guess what they could be used for? Spying and planting chaos everywhere. While some argue it's just an art piece, the unsettling truth lingers. If artists can do this, then what about tech experts and scientists? Surely with the advancements we've made in microchips, something like this is possible, yes? Either way, it reminds me of Spy Kids. What about you? Next, we have a jaw-dropping moment caught on camera. An alligator casually strolling along its path encounters an unexpected obstacle, a sturdy metal fence blocking its way. Most creatures would pause and perhaps reconsider their route, but not this resilient alligator. With an impressive display of strength, the reptile takes matters into its own hands, or rather, jaws. With a calculated effort, the reptile creates a gap just wide enough for its body to slip through. This remarkable demonstration showcases the impressive power and adaptability of the alligator in overcoming obstacles in its environment. If there's any takeaway from this video, it's don't mess with these creatures. If you've made it this far, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already. It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. Delving into the realm of social media, a TikTok user sends shockwaves through the platform with a perplexing post that leaves the online community on edge. In this eerie video, the user captures a mysterious figure traversing the darkened expanse in the distance. The creature appears to be bipedal, but it was hard to make out the rest of its features because of the darkness and its ghostly appearance. As the TikTok community delves into speculation, various theories emerge. Is it a ghost from the spirit world, a shape-shifting skinwalker hiding in the shadows, or maybe even a Wendigo haunting the remote woods? The answers are still uncertain. In a follow-up post, he filmed the location during the daytime, revealing that he lives in a remote area in the woods. This means the wandering feet could be anything. What's your money on? Before we move on to the next video, just another reminder. If you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now. I wouldn't want to send a Bigfoot after you. And don't forget to share with friends and family as well. Thank you very much. Next, we have another mysterious sighting in the air. This time, it's a horizontal-looking object gliding over the woodlands of Colombia. It's the classic story of an unidentified flying object reigniting the age-old question: could it be an alien spacecraft or maybe some otherworldly device? The possibilities are as vast as the starry skies. What do you think of this horizontal marvel? My mind thinks it looks like a frisbee, but the paranormal community says it's extraterrestrial. So let's hear your opinions as well. What do you think we're looking at? Next, you might want to take a look at this strange encounter. As you can see from the clip, someone was burning something when out of nowhere the flames flared up and a bizarre fiery figure took shape. The woman who was standing by the blazing spectacle and the person behind the camera both took a hasty step back, and looking at it, I would have rushed out of the place. But knowing me, I would have returned as well to find out what it was. Having seen it yourself, what do you think it could be? Some in the paranormal community believe this could be a modern-day encounter with a fire demon. According to Aaron, that's most likely the case, but what about you? What do you think is going on here? We find ourselves in another captivating moment, this time brought to us by a curious observer from the realms of Reddit. The scene unfolds against the backdrop of a mountainous landscape where our eyes are drawn to an enigmatic phenomenon. In the footage, a luminous presence graces the side of the mountain, casting its brilliant glow into the night. Then, as if guided by some ethereal force, this radiant entity undergoes a sudden transformation. It ignites, erupting into a burst of light, illuminating the surroundings in a celestial display. However, the strangeness doesn't end there. Just as swiftly as it emerged, this mysterious orb disintegrates, vanishing into the shroud of the night. What could explain this event? Is it a natural occurrence, a celestial phenomenon, or perhaps something we just can't understand? Some members of the paranormal community believe it's caused by a being materializing in our plane, while some in the common sense, aka the logical folks, believe it's just some power lines short-circuiting, causing the sparks and eventual flames. Which of them do you think is most plausible? Share your thoughts with us. Did you catch what he saw before taking off? It looked like some sort of tiny creature with a small head and some beady eyes. It has an otherworldly appearance, almost like a pixie from the dark realms. As much as I'd love to have footage of one of those creatures, one thing's for sure, there's no Tinkerbell in that creature. That leaves us with a myriad of questions. What exactly is that creature? Why was it hiding in the tree? Are there many more of them? Do they have powers? And should we be wary of them? These and many more are questions we may never get answers to, but what thinkest thou? What do you think we're dealing with? Have you had an encounter with one of these creatures? Please share in the comments. We're eager to hear your thoughts. A trail cam owner came across this strange image on his device. Take a look. At first glance, he couldn't make out what it was until he enhanced the footage. Once it was enhanced, it appeared to have captured a large creature walking through the dark. The creature was about 7 feet tall. It fits the classic description of a Bigfoot. All who saw the footage in the paranormal community believed it had to be a Bigfoot. My team thinks so too. Personally, well, I don't know. There's something off and I just can't put my finger on it. What do you think we're dealing with here? The Lockheed CL-1201 was a proposed high-speed aircraft developed by Lockheed in the 1960s. It was developed to be a supersonic transport capable of carrying about 250 passengers at speeds faster than Mach 2. Comparing it to a famous building, the wingspan of the CL-1201 would be comparable to the height of the Statue of Liberty, while its length would be equivalent to about 2/3 the length of a football field. The design included a delta wing and 4 engines with a focus on transatlantic flights. Unfortunately, the project didn't advance beyond the concept stage due to various challenges in the US government's decision against developing a supersonic transport. Today, the CL-1201 serves as a historical example of attempts in the 20th century to create practical supersonic commercial aeroplanes. What do you think of it? Is it something you would love to sit in? Tell us in the comments section. Now hold on to your seats because here's yet another instance of what could be a real-life Matrix glitch. Take a look at this footage.
Plane. Is it moving? It's not moving.
You can distinctly hear the sound of some sort of craft, as if it's cruising along. But guess what? It's frozen in place like it hit an invisible wall or something.
Sounds like it's moving.
I mean, seriously, is this scientifically feasible? Shouldn't the laws of physics have something to say about it, or are we witnessing a slip in the cosmic code that governs our reality? It's a perplexing puzzle, that's for sure. For us, coming across two planes like this is nothing short of a rare occurrence, yet it's a highly welcomed one. Have you had any experiences like this or even seen footage similar to this one? Please share it. Now, here's a TikTok video uploaded by the user Sleep with Horror that left many scared, perplexed, and intrigued at the same time. In the footage, you can spot a farmer out on his farm at night, likely going to tend his noisy animals. Suddenly, all of his animals bolt in one direction. But why is the farmer running away too? What did he see? If you look at the direction from which the animals were fleeing, you'll notice a dark-furred creature sprinting at top speed. There's, however, not much to see, so we can only speculate. It looks like it could be a wild animal, possibly a panther or a wolf, which would certainly make anyone run. However, there are other speculations. Some suggest that what the farmer witnessed might be a creature from our folktales. A dogman, rake, skinwalker, or even a chupacabra. These days, it seems like anything is possible. What's your take? These two men stumble upon a chilling encounter at the corner of an abandoned house. What they find is a creature that straddles the line between human and monstrous. It has a woman-like figure with an otherworldly, ghastly face adorned with razor-sharp teeth. The creature's mouth opens and closes, a haunting spectacle that sends shivers down the spine. Local residents say it's a djinn. If you don't know what that is, it's a creature from folklore that's known to possess great power. It can either be good or evil. Think of the genie from Aladdin, but this time with free will and all the power in the world. Could be disastrous, right? Anyway, what do you guys think of it? Next, we visit Uganda to experience the mystery of the northern and southern hemispheres. This clip was recorded by some individuals at a tourist destination in Uganda. People come here to experience the differences in two hemispheres. First, they stand at the northern side and pour water into this strange funnel thing and then put a flower in it. Once they do that, the flower rotates clockwise, but when they cross over to the southern hemisphere and do the same thing, the flower rotates anti-clockwise. This simple experiment, if we can call it that, demonstrates how our planet's rotation affects things. Julius says it's called the Coriolis effect. I'm not a science whiz, so can someone tell me if he's telling the truth or not? If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more of these videos for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. Back in 2022, a Facebook user from Texas took to Facebook Live when he started to hear strange noises.
Like hunt the sound down, and I can't find it. It's still like way off in that direction somewhere. You hear that?
The noises sound like screeching and screaming, then it changed to something unexplainable. The sound went on for quite a while until the man went out to go search for it. But according to him, the sound seemed to be coming from the sky. It was very loud. He also said that the whole day the weather had been strange. They had sunshine, rain, a hailstorm, and strong winds. He suspects that it had something to do with the sound, but he has nothing to prove that it actually was. What do you think this sound is?
A second ago? What the?
In the stillness of the night, a surveillance camera caught this extraordinary sight on a rather unsuspecting street. In the footage, we see a peculiar humanoid creature, plump and mysterious, emerging from the shadows. With an almost mischievous air, it crawls across the scene, displaying an unexpected ability to walk on two legs as it reaches a building adorned with a poster. For some odd reason, it tears the poster to shreds and just as nonchalantly returns to all fours and ambles away into the night. The bizarre behavior of this nighttime visitor raises questions about its motives and the supernatural touch it adds to an otherwise ordinary night. What could have prompted such a strange escapade? Before jumping to its motives, you have to ask, is this even real at all? Now, the next one is a tale that takes us to the Black Sea, where curious tourists in 2023 stumbled upon a strange sight. They captured footage of not one, but two or three mysterious beings in the water that resembled none other than the legendary Loch Ness Monster. These creatures had a distinctive small head and long necks, features that resembled the said creature. For those not familiar with it, the Loch Ness Monster was reportedly first seen in modern times in the year 1933. Since then, there have been many alleged sightings of the creature from all over the world with images. This one is no different, but do you think this will be the very first one that leads to the creature? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Well, here's a head-scratcher that takes us to the skies. A humanoid figure draped in a long white robe, arms outstretched, floating in the great expanse above. Now that's definitely not your everyday sighting. When it comes to mysterious figures in the sky, the usual suspects are aliens or, of course, a well-planned hoax. But when it comes to this, even the skeptics are throwing a curveball into the mix. They suggest that this could be a blue beam projection. For those new to the channel, blue beam projections refer to a concept rooted in conspiracy theories that stipulate that governments and other powerful individuals or institutions are using advanced technology to create holographic illusions in the sky, often for deceptive or manipulative purposes. Proponents of this theory suggest that such projections could be used to simulate supernatural or extraterrestrial events, leading to widespread confusion and speculation such as this footage here. It's a stretch, I know, but think about it. Once you've done that, please share your thoughts in the comments section, as we'd love to know what you think.
Just here a second ago. It was just really weird light that just kind of appeared out of nowhere.
Behold the mesmerizing spectacle witnessed over Buxton, Maine, USA in February 2023.
Oh my, what the fuck?
The footage introduces us to a celestial display that has ignited discussions about the possibility of extraterrestrial visitation. In the night sky, multiple luminous orbs grace the darkness. Their presence, unlike stars, their abundance raises questions and prompts contemplation about the mysteries that may lie beyond our earthly realm. The sheer number of these radiant orbs creates an otherworldly scene, leaving observers both intrigued and perhaps a tad apprehensive. The speculation about UFOs and the potential for an alien invasion is as exciting as it is worrying. I mean, I'd love to see aliens, but who knows what they could do to us.
Just here a second ago. It was just really weird light that just kind of appeared out of nowhere.
Well, buckle up for a shockingly electrifying discovery. These intrepid explorers from Africa stumbled upon a rock that's not your run-of-the-mill geological find. As they closely examined this peculiar specimen, it became clear that there was more to it than meets the eye. First off, let's talk about its appearance. This rock, sporting a distinctive silverish hue, immediately draws attention. But as the adventurers take their investigation to the next level, they decide to connect a humble light bulb to the rock. Cue the jaw-dropping revelation. Miraculously, the light bulb springs to life, casting a glow that can only be described as electrifying. Yes, you heard it right. The rock appears to be generating electricity. Now, this is no ordinary geological occurrence. It's a rock star in the literal sense, proving that nature can surprise us with its hidden talents. I'm no rock expert or enthusiast, so before I attribute this to the supernatural, can someone explain what's happening here? We really need an explanation. This terrifying footage from Russia allegedly shows us the moment a meteorite struck Earth in 2013. As you can see, as cars are going back and forth, there was a huge flash in the sky. The 2013 Chelyabinsk meteor event made people more aware of the dangers associated with objects from space coming into Earth's atmosphere. I certainly wouldn't want to be anywhere near any of these when they crash. I'd definitely love to live a bit longer. We all heard of the tragic fires that burnt down Chile not long ago. News coming from there now is that the residents are now painting their roofs and properties blue. Now you might be wondering what blue has to do with anything. This has to do with DEW, direct energy weapons. Some conspiracy theories suggest the fires might be a result of these mysterious weapons. They even connect the dots between the Chile fires and the blazes in Hawaii. They claim that these weapons can't detect the color blue, so by giving their homes a fresh coat, they're basically trying to stay one step ahead of potential disaster. Apparently, many billionaires and millionaires have their private homes in blue coatings. I don't know how true that is, and I refuse to investigate. I was afraid to know the truth. I didn't want to get involved in anything sketchy, but then again, what do you guys think? Let's shift gears from the bizarre world of The Matrix to another peculiar incident. The footage was shot during a music concert. Initially, everything appears to be going smoothly until, out of nowhere, an unseen force seemed to hit the ground, sending them all tumbling backwards. Multiple people recorded this incident from different angles, and you can observe some kind of energy pushing the audience backwards.
The mystery surrounding this event remains unsolved. Some speculate it might be an energy wave, while others offer a more plausible explanation. The tightly packed crowd could have been disrupted when someone in the front row fell, triggering a chain reaction much akin to toppling over dominoes. That's a reasonable theory considering the circumstances, but it might not be the definitive answer. Having seen the footage yourself, what do you believe happened there? Tell us in the comment section.
That is so creepy.
You've touched upon a fascinating point, one that often leaves us pondering the extent of our knowledge about the planet we call home. This particular video, captured by a resident in Anchorage, Alaska, adds yet another layer to the mystery. The haunting, trumpet-like sounds echoing from the sky as if played by a colossal instrument indeed raise questions. This footage, which surfaced in 2020, is just one of many instances of this strange phenomena plaguing the town for years. But what makes it even more intriguing is that similar sounds have been reported in various parts of the world, often without any clear explanation. The interpretations of these eerie sounds vary widely. Some view them as an ominous sign, perhaps signaling the end of days, while others take a more scientific stance, suggesting the possibility of skyquakes. But even that doesn't fully explain the situation, since skyquakes are unexplained loud booming sounds or noises that are often heard in the sky or from the atmosphere. There are no theories as to how they occur and no true explanations for them. It's a curious enigma, one that reminds us that even in our age of information, there are still mysteries that elude our understanding, leaving us with a sense of wonder and humility in the face of the unknown. Conspiracies about celebrities being reptilians have existed for millennia. In this clip, we see a little girl interacting with Elvis Presley when suddenly she looks seriously at his face. Upon closer inspection, one may notice that one eye looks bigger than the other, almost as if it's morphing or molting. What makes this situation suspicious is that a man comes and blocks his face from the camera and another guy touches his eye. The very one that looks weird. What do you really think is happening? Was he shape-shifting, or was there something else at play here? If only we could find that little girl and ask. Canadian mountains in the year 2020. If you are wondering what makes this mountain special, it's simple. A gondola came crashing down the mountain. The incident shook everyone given how neatly its cables were cut. Just in case you didn't know, such cables are typically made of thick steel, and that will require a lot of effort to cut through. Not to talk about the noise and the fact that at least 3 men are needed to do it successfully in at least 15 minutes. Here's the thing though, the security saw and heard nothing. How were they cut then? Well, no one knows. This man suggests that the culprit might be none other than the elusive Sasquatch. Why? Because according to him, no human could pull off such a risky feat without getting caught. After the incident, security was beefed up and they even had thermal cameras. But after spending millions to fix the cable and upgrade the security, the incident repeated again, with no culprit caught. The only difference was this time they captured footage of a massive creature roughly 8 to 9 feet tall. There are not a lot of humans that fit this bill. Could it be the work of a Sasquatch, as the man says, or is there a more ominous reason? Share your thoughts. Oh dear, it seems we've stumbled upon a rather peculiar situation in the world of trail cams. We have 2 crocs, or perhaps alligators, swimming near a trail cam. Now, you must be wondering why I'm laughing, but, well, it's actually simple. I'm kind of expected to be corrected and given a lesson on the differences between a croc and an alligator. This community never lets my mistakes slide, and I love you guys for it.
It's motivated me to do a little more research before putting these videos out there. Either way, back to the video. It appears that our reptilian friends have decided to make the camera their guardian and protector of their territory. Now, I must say, I'm not quite sure how the brave soul who set up this camera is planning to retrieve it. It might involve a bit of negotiation with our cold-blooded comrades, or perhaps a carefully devised strategy to outsmart them. In any case, it's a reminder that nature often has its plans, a true testament to the unpredictability and wonder of the great outdoors. Despite the dangers of recovery, you must agree that this is one fine bit of footage. God bless whoever captured it. This next capture may not be capturing an escaped inmate, but it does capture something surreal. Take a look. What do you think we're looking at here? Some kind of ape-like creature? I mean, I know we can only see a part of the creature because the image was captured around the time it was passing behind a tree. Despite this, however, we can still see one of its legs sticking out, and it appears to have an almost human-like stride. Now, when it comes to identifying this enigmatic creature, the possibilities are as diverse as the wildlife itself. At a point, some members of the team assumed it could be a mischievous monkey or even a curious bear. Looking at it, however, the creature appears to have a human-like gait. A subscriber sent this in seeking answers. While these attempt to answer it based on available evidence, I believe there's more. Could this perhaps be that iconic denizen of the wilderness, the elusive Bigfoot? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Let's delve into a rather perplexing situation that unfolded before a vigilant observer. This gentleman found himself in the familiar setting of his car stationed outside a store, patiently awaiting the return of his friend who was shopping inside.
He's stuck in the same pattern. She's done this 5 or 6 times.
Yet, this seemingly mundane wait took a surreal turn when he noticed an unusual occurrence. In the vicinity of his car was another vehicle, its sole occupant, a mysterious woman, caught in what appeared to be a continuous and repetitive loop, extending for nearly an hour. Struck by a mixture of shock and curiosity, our protagonist made the daring decision to venture into the store and seek out this lady, hoping to free her from the grip of this peculiar trance. Remarkably, it seemed as though his efforts bore fruit. However, the story takes a rather disconcerting twist. Several hours later, the same woman reappeared, this time in the company of another lady who may be a daughter of hers, leaving the gentleman deeply perplexed. Now here lies the enigma. Was it the woman who was ensnared in a bewildering cycle, or was it the man himself who found himself trapped in an inexplicable loop, witnessing the same events unfold repeatedly? We invite you, O astute audience of ours, to share your conjectures and musings in the comments section below. Let's dive into another spine-tingling piece of footage that'll make those goosebumps dance. Here's the setup. A dog owner out for a nighttime stroll with his trusty white pit bull playing a game of catch. He throws a green ball, and that's when the strangeness kicks in. Watch closely. As the pit bull lunges for the ball, out of the blue, a smaller black dog just materializes from thin air right beneath the pit bull. It's like a scene out of a paranormal thriller. How could something like this even happen? Take a careful look at it again. Did you see that? Could the Chihuahua have been tied to the pit bull at the start? Well, if that were the case, we would have seen it, wouldn't we? So how else do we explain what we saw? Well, we can't, unless of course the footage is doctored, which I highly doubt. But what say you? Our next footage takes us to a garage. Who knew that the garage could become the place of nightmares? Wondering what I'm talking about? Well, watch this footage.
Armed with a flashlight and a camera, an unknown individual ventures into a cluttered garage. Inside the garage, there is an established wooden structure for storing materials and equipment. It's unknown if he knew something weird was there, but judging by his movement, he might have. As he points his light at one of the wooden cabinets, a creature's head pops up. I was tempted to think it might be a monkey of sorts, but taking a second look, I doubt that's what we have here. And if it was a monkey, I doubt the one filming would have moved away as fast as he did. So what exactly could this be? Oh, you tell me. Here's a heartwarming scene that proves even the mightiest of creatures can have a soft side. Movies make rhinos out to be imposing and often have an aggressive demeanor. While that may be true, sometimes it only happens when they are provoked. In most cases, they're quietly minding their own business, and a particular rhino seems to be the mellowest of them all. As it goes about its evening duties, munching a thing or two here and there, a tiny companion takes advantage of the opportunity and perches itself comfortably on the rhino's back. Now, there could be a couple of explanations for this unlikely friendship. You might be thinking that the rhino is simply too focused on its meal to notice the daring hitchhiker, or perhaps it's having an exceptionally good day and decided to share some warmth and company. But this happens more often than not. Have you heard of symbiotic or commensal relationships? Sometimes smaller animals like domestic cats may climb on or sit near rhinos or other large animals in captivity or wildlife reserves. This behavior is not driven by the rhino's consent, but rather the result of the cat's natural curiosity or seeking warmth or shelter. It's essential to remember that these interactions can be risky for the smaller animals if the larger animal becomes agitated or defensive, and that's why you must always avoid encroaching on the personal space of these wild beasts. Someone found this strange-looking sea snake in the waters and brought it home. The snake has these strange green things on its skin. They look like fur or hair of some sort, but aren't snakes supposed to have scales? Well, there's a hypothesis. Some believe these are sea snakes. Yes, they're sea snakes, and they're known to spend a significant amount of time submerged in water. The hypothesis is that algae or other marine organisms can attach themselves to their bodies. Seaweed and other plant-like organisms are believed to be able to provide camouflage by blending the snake's appearance with its surroundings. It's believed that's what we're seeing here. If this is the case, the belief is that it's supposed to make it less conspicuous to predators or prey. Additionally, this type of symbiotic relationship can offer protection by potentially deterring predators that may mistake the snake for something unpalatable. Unless, of course, they love salads. What do you think? Nature's heartwarming moments. Take a moment to soak in the beauty as a generous monkey shares its apple with a tortoise. It's like a scene straight out of a harmonious jungle tale. There's something profoundly beautiful about witnessing different creatures showing kindness and sharing in their unique way. Don't you agree? I don't remember the last time someone shared their apple with me. Well, this next footage from the woods holds more intrigue than meets the eye. While the camera explores every nook and cranny, it captures a creature lurking behind a distant tree. Seemingly on the prowl for dinner, the camera unveils an ape-like creature, its beard a striking feature in the moonlight. Possibly standing at around 7 feet tall, sporting a robust torso, glowing eyes, and black fur, it quickly ducks and swiftly takes cover behind the nearest tree upon realizing it's been discovered. Perhaps it's thinking, why are these creatures after me? Or perhaps something more sinister like, let's lure him in. Either way, the one filming doesn't pursue. Instead, he's left wondering, what was that? Do you have an answer? Tell us in the comments section. Trail cameras, the ever-watchful eyes of the wilderness, capturing moments both sublime and bizarre. But this next footage takes the cake in terms of unexpected revelations. Imagine being the owner of a trail cam, eagerly retrieving it one day, only to discover something you never anticipated. In the cold, unforgiving darkness of the night, the camera reveals a scene that seems almost too surreal to be true. An inmate, in a desperate bid for freedom, is caught in the act of trying to escape from incarceration. A subscriber of the channel sent it in, and he stated that they didn't understand what they were looking at until the individual was arrested later. If this is proof of anything, it's that the unexpected can happen even in the most unlikely places. Trail cams, once reserved for documenting the secrets of the natural world, have now started recording inmates escaping from jail. Who knows what else we may start capturing on these cams? A big shout out to the subscriber who sent this in. We can't wait to have the rest of you starting to send in footage. I can't imagine what y'all are also capturing on your trail and security cams.
What do we have here? A fish with a helmet? That's what I thought. This is what is called a barrel-eye fish. The barrel-eye fish, scientifically known as Macropina microstoma, is an intriguing deep-sea creature with a unique feature. What sets it apart is the transparent, fluid-filled dome on its head acting like a helmet. This see-through shield covers its eyes, positioned within the transparent head, enabling the fish to gaze directly upward. Although first described in the 1930s, it wasn't until recent years, thanks to advanced underwater exploration technology, that researchers could capture detailed images and footage of these elusive creatures in their natural habitat. The transparent dome serves as protection for the eyes, allowing the fish to detect prey and potential threats above while adapting to the challenges of deep-sea life below. Talk about a cool adaptation. Meet the gharial crocodile. This formidable species is known for its distinctive long, thin snout and an elongated, narrow jawline with razor-sharp teeth. With its menacing appearance, the gharial is specially adapted to its aquatic environment. Its name, gharial, is derived from the bulbous growth on the tip of its snout, which is reminiscent of a pot or gara in Hindi. While they may look intimidating, these crocodiles are primarily fish eaters, using their streamlined bodies and powerful tails to navigate through water with precision. Encountering a gharial in the wild would undoubtedly be a sight to remember, as these creatures showcase the incredible diversity and adaptations found in the animal kingdom.
If you thought that was odd, then the next footage will certainly rustle some feathers. Ever since the It and Joker characters made it through mainstream media, people have become very wary of clowns, and this footage is one of many that will send a shiver down your spine. According to the uploader, a security camera set on private property captured the bizarre situation. In the middle of the night, a strange person in a clown mask and a hoodie is seen walking straight to the camera holding a syringe. The motives of this person remain a mystery, and his identity as well, making this whole situation very disturbing. I would like to console myself by thinking that this is just some kind of Halloween prank, but it's not. Take a look at the syringe in his hands also. If there's anything to take away from this video, it's that this homeowner should be very careful. Next is a video clip of a couple who are on a mission to uncover the paranormal. In this particular footage, they're on a bridge in the late hours of the night. Armed with a recorder and a flashlight, this couple discover an oddity on the bridge, a white rope dangling into the depths. The person with the light and recorder moves closer, shining the light in the direction of the dangling rope. Out of curiosity, they begin to pull it up, and to their astonishment, a head is attached to the other end. As they reel in the rope, they discover a head with red liquid writing that reads, "Do you see me?" The eerie discovery should have terrified anyone out exploring in the dead of night. Surprisingly, the couple appears unfazed by this chilling experience. Now, are you thinking what I'm thinking? If you are, then you're probably wondering if they could be in mortal danger. I'm concerned, but my team believes it's a hoax. They think the couple prearranged this by attaching a male mannequin's head with a white robe for content. Which do you think it is? So picture this. There's a dude out hiking in the woods, just enjoying nature's wonders. Suddenly, his eyes catch something bizarre. A creature strolling the path up ahead. Now, you know this guy couldn't resist the call of curiosity, so he decides to play detective and starts chasing after the enigmatic being. But here's where it gets intense, my friends. As our brave adventurer gets closer, he begins to realize that what he's chasing after is no ordinary critter. Nope, this thing defies all labels and categories. It's like a riddle wrapped in a mystery. The creature standing tall at a whopping 7 to 8 feet is a hulking beast. I'm talking muscles on muscles, folks. And get this, it's covered head to toe in brown fur, giving off some serious ape vibes. But here's the kicker. It's running on 2 legs with its massive arms effortlessly swinging through the trees like they're twigs in the wind. Can you imagine witnessing that? Now, hold on tight, because it gets even more hair-raising. As the chase heats up, the creature senses its pursuer hot on its tail and picks up the pace. It's desperate to shake off its persistent shadow. But guess what? Our gutsy hiker refuses to back down. He's like a dog with a bone, determined to uncover the truth. But here's the heart-stopping moment. The creature suddenly comes to a halt and starts pacing among the trees, unleashing bone-chilling growls that could make your blood freeze. It's at that very moment that our hiker realizes he's come face to face with the legendary Bigfoot. Yeah, you heard me right. Bigfoot. Luckily, the pacing giant eventually calms down and bolts away, leaving our intrepid hiker in a state of shock and awe. I mean, who wouldn't be left dumbfounded after an encounter like that?
Let's take a look at the final footage of today's episode that was taken at an undisclosed location. It captures a disc-shaped craft in the sky floating over the ocean and near a forest. The craft just glided smoothly, its disc shape clearly visible against the backdrop of the horizon. Despite significant technological advancements over the years, we have yet to see a saucer-shaped craft like this in conventional aeronautics. Could this be genuine footage of a UFO? The clarity and distinct shape of the craft have certainly fueled speculation. While some might argue it's an elaborate hoax or a cleverly designed drone, others are convinced this is proof of extraterrestrial life. Share your thoughts on this. And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.